Welcome to the Bounce Pass Pitch Podcast, the show where sports aren't just a game, they're a lifestyle. Join Kat, Ray, and Sammy as we dive into all things sports, from buzzer beaters to game-winning goals and everything in between. Whether it's basketball, football, baseball, or something new under the sun, we've got it covered. Get ready for the hot takes, the inside scoop, and the stories that make you say, wow. So lace up those sneakers, grab your gear, and let's get into it. Bounce, pass, pitch, where the game never stops.
All right, fellas, welcome back. Week 4. Wait, is this 4? This is week 3 of YouTube. Week 4 of our podcast. We'll just say it week 3.
We got an unreleased one out there, so I guess week
maybe the leak.
YouTube,
maybe the leakers will get to it, and y'all see it one day. the anonymous group.
The anonymous,
the crypto leakers are gonna get it. Well, welcome back to the Bounce Pass Pitch Podcast with your hosts Christian, Ramon, Ray, Raymond, however you want to. All the names.
Ramon, everything. And the anomaly.
Okay, that's enough. And Samuel Salazar, Sammy.
Yes, sir.
Chicken Wing Sammy.
Chicken Wing Sammy.
Chicken Wing
Undisputed.
Sammy.
Chicken Wing Sammy. Fat Boy Sam. Whatever you want to call me.
Well, we got a lot to cover this week. I have chills again. Every time we start, I'm like, yeah, it's time to go. Go time, baby. I'm about to get into the clutch. We got a lot to cover. We hope you listened last week. Of course, all of our podcasts are on YouTube. There's clips on TikTok if you need to listen, catch up with some of the highlights. And, of course, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, find us anything you can listen to podcast on. Get caught up. But let's talk about our weekend review. We're going to hit some sports. I think this week is probably going to be primarily football. Yep. Just to give you a preface, just because there's so much going on. I mean, we're sitting here now, and I'm getting alerts about things going on. Like 20 minutes ago, 49ers released defensive tackle Malik Collins.
You seen Zadarius Smith?
No, I did not.
The Lions released him.
Really?
Yeah, he's been bouncing around everywhere.
Yeah, he was a
on a
Pro
revenge
Bowler
tour for the NFC North. He's going to try and get on every team. So.
He's collecting all the stones.
Yeah,
all the NFC stones. Thanos. Well, let's get into it. Weekend review. Let's talk about baseball. Get caught up on a few things. Ray, you want to take that?
Yeah, baseball's still going. Getting through spring training. A lot of stuff going on. Rafael Devers for the Red Sox still not back at spring training. Said he's not ready yet, which is interesting, especially after all the talks about him not wanting to give up his spot at third base. So I think it's just it's kind of funny. I've seen videos of him taking ground balls and stuff, but he hasn't actually played in any games. So I think it's just kind of a weird dynamic that he's kind of created for himself in that locker room.
But weren't they questioning moving him because of his weight in the offseason? So it's kind of ironic that he's not ready for spring training. He's really not been taking care of his body. But
exactly, yeah. So it's just been kind of a developing story. I don't think I've seen videos of him and Bregman taking ground balls together and laughing. So I don't think their relationship is fractured or anything like that. But I think maybe with Alex Cora, because he's had some words for kind of just saying I'm going to play the best guy. He's like, I'm the manager. I'm going to pay. I get paid to put the best players out there. So I'm going to do what's best for the team. So just interesting story right there developing. But
I think also just from an outside non-baseball perspective, to me it just kind of seems like if you want to play third base, be ready to play third base. I don't know. I mean, you talk about spring training's a little bit much, and there's a lot of games this season, but I feel as though your infield, from once again not knowing baseball as much or playing it really at all, except for in 4th grade when I got hit in the face with a pop fly and kicked the ball to second base.
That was the end of the career.
That was it. I took a pop fly to the nose, cried, kicked the baseball field from left field to second base. I mean, we held them. They didn't score on us.
That's probably when they should have looked at you and been like, "That's a punter right there."
Someone get that man a football. Yeah, and but I feel like your infield has to be almost like a basketball team, like your starting 5. Just kind of has to know where the ball's coming, how he's going to throw it, arm angles, especially if you're third base, maybe trying to throw to second, to first, get the double out. So I feel like that there's a lot more. To me, and tell me if I'm wrong, which is fine, but I feel like there's got to be a lot more continuity, a lot more togetherness inside the diamond.
Yeah, I think a lot of that, like you said, I mean, when you're trying to turn double play or anything like that, or even balls in the hole, you got to have communication with the person next to you. So Yeah, you definitely got to have a good relationship with the guys next to you. So,
and if you're like gonna start a third baseman that's not healthy, that is healthy. I don't know, but also the elite of the elite. You're there because your reason. So it's also like one of those things like if you put LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry on a team, like we saw in the Olympics, like they're just gonna ball out. So I feel like also with baseball, you have elite guys there, for a reason.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of guys who could play it, but when you get in the game, it's always different because you get so little chances. Like you don't get too many chances, so you gotta just make sure you got the guys who can stick their glove at the right times and make the right plays.
Yeah,
I was watching those guys where they do the drills where like their jump is like timed perfectly. I don't know. To me, that didn't it didn't really do anything for me. Like I don't know, maybe that's just being like
it's
light
being
on
on
feet.
time.
Yeah, just be like every time they pitch,
being ready to move. Yeah.
Baseball is just such a like being in rhythm, so you don't want to be caught flat-footed. I mean, same thing like if you're like a cornerback, like you don't want to be. You got to be on the balls of your feet, just because you never know where the ball's going.
Right.
So it's a little bit different, but yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll see how it goes. Especially Red Sox spent a lot of money this offseason to try and get a championship team out there, but
especially since they let Mookie go. Just kidding.
That's
a long time ago. That does.
They definitely regret that. I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
definitely regret that. But
have to.
But cool. Tatis also got a new deal with Bad Bunny's agency. Kind of what we talked about, is this going to help kind of grow the game of baseball? I know we've talked about it a little bit, that baseball is like a dead sport. Not a lot of people tune into it. Or it doesn't feel like a lot of people tune into it. Not a lot of people know, just because it's a long season. It kind of gets dragged out. But I think this will be good to kind of keep going with that movement. Also, like we talked about last week with the Rockies pitcher who's just like emoting on the mound. I think it'll help get the younger generation involved and kind of push them to be a baseball player.
Like a few years ago, Tatis was really like the Ken Griffey Jr. for all the kids watching. I mean, that was the main guy when I got back into baseball probably like 2021. And I was like one of the main guys for sure. And he carries a huge image, and his swagger is one thing that he carries a lot in his game. So
did you ever get to go watch him when he was here for South Poodles?
I think he just did BP. I don't think he played.
No, he played. He played for him.
No.
Yeah, I lived in San Antonio when he was here, but
we had got tickets to go to the game. I was like, I don't want to go. I didn't know who it was. I was like, everybody was like making a big deal about it, and we had something else to do. I was like, I'm good. And then I was like, dang, that fool was like nice.
Yeah, I saw Corbin Carroll. That was the best one.
Yeah, Corbin Carroll, I
Carroll
saw
was
him.
Here.
Yeah, we got, if you don't know, we got a little
And I remember
minor league team here in Amarillo.
I remember Chaz McCormick, who's on the Astros now. He would always play against. Like it was like a week straight. I think my family and I went to series like the whole week basically, and I kept seeing Chaz McCormick.
Yeah, that's cool. He's pretty nasty.
I guess this is cool about baseball is the farm system's so large. Like you get to see some of those guys before they make it big and make it into the majors.
The coolest thing is like rehabbing too. Like that's why Tatis was here, right? He was rehabbing after injury.
Yeah, you get the big leaguers come down and you hear some cool stories where the big leaguers take care of some of the minor leaguers. Like they'll take them out to dinner and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool for them. But
I wonder if he went to
the Big Texan.
Yeah, how'd you know? That's like
the 72-ounce steak.
Home with the 72-ounce steak.
And the motels right next to it.
Yeah.
You think he stayed at one of those?
What? The what motel?
One of the ones next to the
Big Texan.
Yeah,
no, he probably stayed in the Hyatt. All I heard is there's a lot of meat.
Probably at the Embassy Suites. They probably. But going on to the next, kind of going into the Yankees. My favorite team, of course, Spencer Jones and George Lombard Jr. They're having a hot start to spring training. It's gonna be interesting to see how the Yankees handle them. The Yankees are kind of known for holding guys back, especially like Jason Dominguez, who's supposed to be like the next big thing. He's been in the minors for like 3 years, even though everybody thinks he's ready. These two guys are showing out in spring training, and we have a lot of injuries. Just found out Stanton's going to be out for a lot longer. Cole might be out. Garrett Cole's going to be out for a little bit too. I think he's getting an MRI on his elbow, so he may be out the whole season too.
Yikes.
So a lot of things going on for them, but those two guys have been really balling out. I think it's time to give the young guys a chance to really ball out, especially with Aaron Judge.
Themselves.
Yeah, Aaron Judge getting a little bit older, and he's really he's the real only staple there. Him and I guess Jazz, but Jazz is more of just like a flair guy. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say bring the young bucks up, let them show their flair.
Yeah.
See what's popping.
Like I said, get their we talked about it too last week too. So getting more personality, and then
was Austin Wells in y'all's farm system?
Yep. He's a homegrown catcher. He's one of the best too, and I like the way that they have him in the leadoff spot. He's really been hitting a lot better. I think they have they're going with the approach of like Kyle Schwarber with the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber's a leadoff for them. who he can hit for power, gets on base. So hopefully Wells can kind of turn out to be like that too. But
Yeah, I like Wells. I was watching a video on him the other day.
Yeah.
But he's solid.
yeah, he's a good catcher.
I don't know who that is, but I'm trusting you guys. Whatever they say,
You're
I
good.
agree with most of it.
Yep. And then last thing, just Dave Roberts is expected to sign a massive deal. Do you guys kind of give credit for Robert, or give the credit to Roberts for that, for the success, or is it more on the ownership and GM?
That was definitely my question. I was like, okay, you're like, let's pay this guy. But I'm like, you have signed one of the most talented rosters. Put me in
In
as
the
manager.
history, yeah, I could go coach that.
That's
team
I just
and-
what I think. I feel like baseball, like I guess there's situations that coaches really step up and like, maybe like the bullpen rotation. Like I understand really controlling that, but I'm like, when it comes down to it, like it just who has the better roster. And like, I feel like they're like he should be the highest paid. He deserves it. I'm just like, I feel like you could put a monkey in. I feel like you don't need a GM. Not GM, a coach, or what do they call him? Manager?
Yeah,
In baseball,
manager.
sorry. I don't feel like you need a manager. Like, let the players manage themselves. You know what I'm saying? I just feels like, okay, you're on one of the, like a super team of the MLB.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen, I don't feel like, that I've ever heard of, seen a super team like this that the Dodgers have. People making jokes about them going 162-0, and
Yeah.
they're like, they could win 120 to 130 games. Like, that's pretty much perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's about as perfect as it gets, especially in baseball, which is like a really big game of chance and how the ball lands and all that kind of stuff. But
I guess the way I look at it is just like he's the leader, he's the rally of those guys, and he's taking charge of everything. Because the players can't just make everything themselves. But I never played in a high competitive level with a coach knowing that all these guys are all certified dudes, and they could probably have the fans submit the starting rotation for the World Series, and they'd probably go out and win a bunch of games.
yeah, that's what they probably will do. Huh? Just have a poll.
Like,
Who do you guys want
to
to
see
But,
hit third in the hole?
I mean, he won the World Series with them, so I guess why not just run it back with him.
Right. Like I said, I don't see any problem with running it back with him, but I'm like, I think they're hyping him up
for him to get paid?
Yeah.
Paid. I guess it's like, to me, it's more like if you're a manager and you have a subpar roster, maybe like 1 or 2 stars, and you make it work and you make it deep and you win. Like, to me, that's like, okay, that guy knows what he's doing. But when you've got Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts and
Max Muncy,
they got the money for it.
Yeah,
might as well feed everybody.
I guess. Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, when I see he's going to sign this big contract, I'm like, buddy, you were in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm just like, I think that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think coaching is a big part of team success. But again, whenever you have those leaders or ex MVPs, like, I mean, you have like 3 ex MVPs on your team right now currently. Like, you have Shohei, you have Freddie Freeman, and Mookie Betts. Those 3 guys really control the locker room. And and your team's the best when it's a player-controlled locker room, really. Because if you have a coach who's really like trying to strike fear in you and all this kind of stuff, it's not really motivating as much as it would be as if one of your peers is telling you, hey, let's lock in, let's go take some extra ground balls, let's go hit a little bit more. It just means a little bit more when it's coming from a player.
Right.
And Dave Roberts, I mean, he was a player, so he's probably more like a player's coach. Yeah, he's a player's coach. He's more of a mediator. But I mean, shout out to him. He's getting that bag. So
we'll see what he gets. I guess they're talking about Chicago's. Is it the Chicago's Craig Counsell? Is he for the? He signed the Cubs. I'm sorry, Chicago Cubs. Yeah, sorry, I guess Chicago White Sox too. Chicago Cubs. That he signed a 5-year, $40 million deal. So they're saying like
that's like nothing. That's crazy.
Oh
no, I mean like as a like compared to other to players' contracts, like 5-year, 40 years, like nothing. Like that's a big coaching contract, but
like for
well, that's kind of as in all sports, no. But I think NBA coaches low-key get paid. I think Monty Williams got paid when he was for the Pistons that year that they had that horrible season. They signed like a huge contract. It was like 4 years, $100 million or something.
That's crazy.
And then they cut him the next season because he only won, what was it, like?
It's terrible. Like
19 games.
That's what I was saying. 19. Yeah. I was thinking 12 or 19 games.
Yeah. Nice. Hey, but they're hooping right now.
Yeah.
We'll get into that when we get to basketball. Well, I guess
we can jump to it right now. Let's jump to it.
They've been on a big winning streak recently, not that long ago. I'm not sure if it got snapped recently, but Cade Cunningham has been hooping out of his mind.
Yeah.
Rallying those guys. And I saw a funny video too where the Sixers and the Pistons were about to play, and the Sixers been doing bad obviously, but Malik Beasley went on a podcast and said that James Harden was one of the easiest players to guard, and then James Harden went and dropped 50 on them, which is pretty cool.
That's
But
funny.
How you gonna say James Harden is?
I think he was just talking.
wild.
He's probably just
That's
talking.
wild. He is definitely talking
He went,
big.
yeah, I mean, he went through a stretch. James Harden. I mean, obviously, he's not the same player he was before,
When he was
but
with the Rockets.
yeah, I mean, he went through a stretch where he was, dropping 50, 49.
Yeah, I gotta drop a hot take later, bro, about James Harden. 'Cause
James Harden.
James Harden was like my peak. I was like 17. Like my eyes were just blown away what he was doing.
36
Yes.
a game. Was that that year? He
Yeah.
averaged 36.
There was like a week he averaged like 40 something.
Yeah.
It was
I think that
insane.
season he averaged like 36.4 points per game or something crazy like that. And
And you know what's crazy? LeBron probably still could have won the MVP that year.
there's been, okay, if we
Because
go
LeBron
and
had
look,
a good season that year. That
If
was
we go and look at all the MVPs over the last like 10 years, you're like, okay, that guy wasn't better than LeBron. That guy was better than LeBron. That guy. It's literally like, I feel like sometimes the MVP gets chopped up to like who can score the most points per game.
yeah.
It's kind of like the NFL MVP is like who can,
This is a quarterback.
See, like right now it's like Jokic and Shea, but like Jokic is doing so much for his team.
Oh yeah,
And did y'all see he just had that 30-20-20?
first ever.
First ever. That's
that guy's
nuts.
That was a really crazy game too against the Suns. I don't know how the Suns been fighting with him. They have no depth.
The Suns are really bad this
They
year.
got
I think they
Bobo
only
with
have
them.
19 wins or 20 wins. They're really bad. I don't know how bad. Maybe it's 26 wins.
They were like up in the top 6 at the beginning of the season, and they just fell off. Probably like the first 30 games they were up there, and then they just fell off.
Oh, the Suns are. I don't know. It's not pulling up for me. Standings. Western. Oh, they're 29 wins. I
Yeah.
guess it's not that bad. But I mean, when you're
They're out of the
when you're-
play-in.
Yeah, when you're the bottom third of the league on the Western Conference, it's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Especially when you got KD, Book.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys should be.
Bradley
they should
Beal.
be. Yeah, Bradley Beal.
You know, they got rid of
yeah.
DeAndre Ayton, and I think that's what
Yeah,
tore them apart.
they
They
don't
have
get a
no
big
big
man.
man play.
Well, Bobo's there, but he's a shooter. He shoots threes.
So, but they gave him. So there was like a week span where they gave him 19 minutes a game, or like 20 minutes a game or something. He was averaging like 16 points, like 15
I don't
points.
see
So
why they wouldn't
weird.
play him more.
Especially with how bad they're doing. I mean, they're starting big right now because I think Nurkic is hurt or something.
Yeah.
Is Mason Plumlee. So it's like, why not just throw Bobo in there at the big and
Might as well.
Yeah,
I
let
think
him
he's
hoop.
too skinny though. I feel like he'd get bullied by like a real
Yeah.
center, like a real center.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that-
feel like he's more of like
because they didn't even play him much against the Nuggets. Because
Yeah.
Jokic would have just bodied him.
Yeah,
and I was
Jokic
watching.
would've bullied him.
I was watching that game, bro. Jokic was just piecing that defense apart, bro. And like they'd give him a shot, and he'd be like, "All right, why not splash it?" And they'd start collapsing on him. Oop, alley oop to one of the little white boys they got. What's his name? Christian Braun. He kept slamming some, and then
Fool's
Jamal
nasty.
Murray
He's
was
been a champion everywhere he's been. You see that Christian Braun, he won in high school, won in college, and then he won in NBA his first year. in
Mhm.
NBA.
That's crazy.
Well, I got some Sammy lore. My barber, his mentor, cuts Jamal Murray.
Really?
And he's like in the newspaper for like the
That's
Denver
crazy.
Times, which is pretty cool. And he flies out there like every 2 weeks to go
Really?
cut him.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
Jamal Murray flies him out.
It's pretty nuts.
Shout out to Swayze, that's his name.
Swayze.
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 That
That's
boy
a-
Swayze.
It goes hard. So we also see that Kyrie Irving towards ACL.
R.I.P.
Is
That's
this
rough.
the worst season a franchise has ever had for the Mavericks?
I think it's definitely up there. I don't know if there's been one as bad besides like maybe dismantling the whole franchise, like
I want
In,
shutting down the whole franchise.
in 1 month.
literally. I just read a timeline. I was reading to Layla because she watches basketball enough to keep up with it, and she's like, "That's crazy to me." But I saw this thing on TikTok. I don't remember who it is. I'll have to credit them, but they were telling this theory that they had on basketball, and they're like, "This is the theory. The NBA wants to expand 2 more teams, and they want the Seattle Supersonics to come back, and they also want Las Vegas to have a team." So
So they want to expand to 34.
yeah.
Oh,
They
wow.
want 2 more teams. They'll expand to 34. And what they're going to do is they said that, of course, the Supersonics will be in the West. They'll put Las Vegas team in the East. But they were saying the ownership right now has done this, right, because they think LeBron in 2 or 3 years will want to be an owner. So they want to help LeBron get his championship. So he has 5, and that can kind of cement him. I mean, for sure, Grace times. I don't think he has to get as many as Michael, which if he does, there's no argument anymore. But cement him his legacy, 5 championships, right? And then he leaves basketball. He's worth over $1 billion. Then Mark Cuban comes back and buys majority stake back of the Mavs at a cut rate cost. So he saves him back money. The owners
The
then
other
go
group
back to
goes
Las
to
Vegas
Las
with
Vegas.
LeBron James, and LeBron James has stake in both the Seattle Supersonics and the Las Vegas team that they want to have there. Mark Cuban comes back, saves the day. They open two more teams. The NBA expands. It's crazy, but all of this to bring back the NBA popular because the Lakers are right now saving the NBA. So that's what the narrative is.
Yeah, that's the Luka trades really brought a bunch of viewers back to the NBA because it just kind of ignited. Everybody's like, "What is going on?
Yeah.
There's no way this is real life." So
It feels like a simulation. I feel like I just did a trade override on 2K. Like I traded this
literally,
crazy
that's
trade.
what I used to do when I played. I just get all the best players on my team.
Just trade override. Like they do not want to
Yeah.
make this trade. Do you want to make them?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I mean that's a crazy theory.
I've seen so many
I
theories.
mean, I could definitely. I mean, I feel like I could definitely see that, but I don't know how I feel about them. Like just trying to hand LeBron a championship. I don't think he needs it to be cemented as a GOAT, but
Right.
I think it'd be a good way to transition into him. Riding off in the sunset and then becoming an owner. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool. But I mean, he's done so much already, though.
I
But,
think he's the GOAT, obviously.
yeah.
I think he'll low-key have like the Tom Brady. Like he'll just probably like own a little team, be in the media all the time. Everybody's always gonna. I mean, he's gonna stay in the media because
He is the NBA.
he's a social guy too.
Yeah.
So like he's always tapped in with everything.
Yeah, and then also with that too, there's talks about AD being traded again too.
I have
next
seen that a
year,
lot.
this year. So
I've seen that a lot. Like, if the Mavs are going to blow it up, might as well get what you can for him. And so that'd be crazy. Imagine playing one game for the Mavs and then being
he
traded.
played 20 minutes.
Is there a 90-day restriction or is it 60 days after being traded?
I think it's 90.
Is it 90 days?
It's 3 months, so
Yeah.
the season will be over in
Season
3
will be
months.
over and they'll trade him.
Trade him in the off season.
And then Clay, like, does that mean like Clay is like just going to retire? Like, he signed a $3 or $50 million deal to play with Luka and Kyrie, and was like, "Oh, okay, well, this
He took
is."
both
Did you
of
see that the disgusting layup that he tried to put up the other day? He like drove under the basket and had no court awareness. He threw it up and hit the bottom of the backboard and bounced back.
He's washed.
It was-
Pulled that
yeah.
Angel Reese.
Yeah.
She tried to pin down the ball and it hit the backboard. She picked it
I'm not
up.
trying to be that person, but why are we glorifying her? Has the WNBA actually watched clips?
Because her McDonald's burger's fire.
I don't even want to try it. I'm scared. I'm gonna.
Have you seen her
build
podcast?
a brick house.
She's got a good podcast.
Okay, I'm glad she's.
Shout out to her podcast.
I'm
No,
playing.
not
I don't
shout out
really
to her
watch it.
podcast.
Hey, she had Shaq on
Suck.
it. Though. Shaq was
You're
dirty macking her,
terrible.
bro.
You're ruining
The diesel.
WNBA. Caitlin Clark has brought all this exposure to you guys, and she's amazing. And then it's like, oh, but Angel Reese builds houses because she's bricking.
Have y'all seen that recent picture of Caitlin Clark?
No,
She was swole, bro. Hold on, let me see.
she's ready to go to the. She's trying to make
Everybody
it to the
play in the
NBA.
NBA.
Swear, I'm
The
like,
Mavs are gonna sign her.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll load,
Her
but
and AD.
The Mavs are gonna sign her. That's
It
hilarious.
was like a picture of her, like, oh yeah, look at her. She literally looks like a WWE player. Or
Oh
she looks like
my!
she looks like
That's pretty
Sting.
wild.
Her arms are.
She looks like Sting without the face
She looks
mask.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
She beat me up. That's probably.
She probably got them hands though. Not gonna lie.
Throw hands. So, and then also we've got LeBron James last night. Oh, two things about LeBron James. 2 nights ago, or the last game he played before last, he hit 50,000 points, first
50K
ever.
points.
50 career total points.
That's nuts.
And then turns around. They're down to the Celtics. They're coming back to try to beat the Celtics, and he gets hurt. For an injury.
That sucked too because I was texting you guys and I was like, man, the Lakers are getting worked, and then as soon as I texted that, they started storming back.
They got within 5, right?
Yeah.
And then they got that timeout, that injury timeout, or because LeBron was like,
Well, yeah, they had they were down like 5 or 6 or whatever, and then LeBron got hurt, and then they called that foul that I was like, I didn't know that was a foul if you just put your hand on somebody, but they said it was pushing on Devin White.
Yeah, the minute he had his hand on him, as soon as he went up, he pulled his hands up like that.
Yeah.
He just was making it's such marginal and I'm surprised he didn't like.
I thought they would have challenged it or something.
It's such
but-
marginal contact. It didn't affect his shot at all.
Yeah, but I think that was the turning point in the game because after that, LeBron's on the bench getting worked on, and then he sinks those 3 free throws. So now they're up 3. They come back down. Luka tries to make something happen, shoot a 3, breaks it. They go down, get it again, and I think Al Horford maybe.
Yeah, I think Al Horford drained
Well,
one.
I think I saw LeBron's out for 1 to 2 weeks.
I saw
with
that
his
too.
groin injury. So
Yeah.
And then I saw where they talked about he'll in about 3 or 4 days they'll reassess it when the swelling's gone down. I guess I don't know how much more swelling you can get, but when it goes down, sorry, I just had to say that. When it goes down, they're gonna reevaluate. What a time to be alive.
But I'm ready to see Luka work out with all the little Laker guys.
Yeah,
on his solo
He's
journey.
about to drop 50.
him and Austin
night.
Reeves. Austin Reeves, and Roy Hachimura.
He was hurt.
He was
He's
out
hurt.
last
I
game.
mean, that's
last
like
night.
so. I mean, that's a good testament to like where the Lakers at. Like, I mean, they didn't have Roy Hachimura. LeBron was left
And also,
when they were getting Reeves, when they were gaining
Jackson
momentum.
Hayes was out too last night.
Yeah.
Was he? So see, like I
They
mean,
didn't have no bigs in.
Yeah, they had
And they
no
kept
bigs,
up
and
with
they
them.
were right there. They only lost by 10.
they kept up with
so.
them. Yeah, I mean, they did a great job. Jared Vanderbilt looks great, finally healthy. It's cool.
I think
to
he's
see.
been the X factor for them really ever since he got back. I know they got Luka in that time too, but I think ever since he's been back, their defense has been number one, and they're like the number one defensive team in the fourth quarter. So
And they've had the number one record since January 15th. I mean, they're number one in a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
And that's what I was looking at the power rankings just 3 days ago. They got Cavs, Thunder, Celtics, Knicks, Nuggets, and Lakers. This was from 3 days ago. But to me, like, the Lakers beat the Nuggets and the Knicks. So I really think it should go Cavs, Thunder, Celtics, Lakers. And then we turn around at the beginning of January and we're saying, like, the Lakers probably aren't even in the top 10 team at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But now they've done such a great job. We're definitely watching J.J. Redick's Hall of Fame coaching arc start, for sure, without a shadow of doubt.
This
I mean,
is like when Eric Spoelstra would really turn around the Heat. I mean, everyone's like, who's this young guy? I know he learned under Pat Riley, but how are you going to follow up Pat Riley, this and that? And he's just, I mean, he's been way better, leagues ahead better than Darvin Ham.
Darvin Ham and cheese.
Yeah, just no hype from him.
I think what we see out of JJ Redick is just what we want to see for all coaches is bring in defensive schemes because nowadays Luka can go get a bucket however he wants. LeBron's going to manage the team however he needs to get people in the right position. Like you've got on-court coaches in these teams nowadays. Like even Shea's been controlling his team and so is Jokic. But you need those defensive-minded guys who are going to scheme the right thing like they did against Jokic and just shut down the best players in the NBA and give their guys the best chances to win.
Yeah, I think JJ Redick's mentality is we're going to shut down your best player, but you can only shut down one of ours.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be one-on-one. Who's better? We are. And I think also, like, I love his offensive system, too. Like, it's not just a free flow, go get your bucket. It reminds me a lot of the Golden State Warriors in 14, 15, and 16 when they had that kind of, as soon as you pass the ball, you're just opening it up, running this way, running that way, setting down screens, flashing. I see a lot of that in the Lakers offense too, like a lot of movement, a lot of like design sets. Okay, if Luka's then going to be the primary ball handler, this is the set that we're going to run. Or if LeBron's the primary ball handler, this is the set we're going to run. Or Austin Reeves. I mean, like they're very, very well thought out. I think that's another reason that we haven't seen like Alex Lynn come in and play yet. It's like you're going to learn the system first. You're going to have chemistry before I just put you on the floor. I don't care if you're 7'1" and a freak athlete. Like you're going to fit in the system. And I think the Lakers have showed that even with not having a natural big. I mean, Jackson Hayes doing a great job, but I would say he's more of a forward. He's just playing like bigger, of course. Yeah. But even with that, like it's a system. Like you got to fit in the system, you know.
Yeah. I think JJ Redick also takes time and watches film. I don't know how many other coaches in the NBA or players in the NBA even really do that with such a compacted season. JJ Redick is really a nerd about basketball. And
that's what they needed.
Yeah, that's what they needed.
Especially going from Darvin Ham, which like I said, everybody didn't really like him because he was you'd see them in the timeout, you know, when they have the huddles and stuff like that, he's like not inspiring at all. Everybody else is like looking around everywhere else or like looking at LeBron to say like, what do you want us to do? Because he's not telling us nothing.
Right.
And I think this has been like such a stark contrast where it's like everybody keyed in on JJ because they know and they respect that he knows ball and he knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah.
So.
I need y'all's opinion on this. Every time I think of Darvin Ham, I think of Doc Rivers.
Yeah, one and the same.
Yeah,
definitely.
You know what,
they're on the same.
They're both bald,
staff, aren't they?
Yeah, they're both on the Bucks now.
They're both bald. No, but I think Doc Rivers is usually really, really good in this regular season, and then he just kind of folds in the playoffs. I don't think Darvin Ham was good at all.
I don't know. I don't think Doc Rivers is really that good of a coach, to be 100% honest. I think he's just like he's kind of like the Dodgers manager.
Dave Roberts.
Exactly. Just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Like,
hey, they're both bald too.
I know they're both bald. Dave Roberts, Darvin Ham, and
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers, all the same. But I mean, like think about the Celtics. Big three. They have KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kendrick Perkins, Rajon Rondo.
That was like the best first
It
super
wasn't even
team.
the big three. It was a big five. Yeah.
They had such a squad, bro. And then they even got like later on like Shaq off the bench.
Yeah.
They had like all types of dudes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they even had Brian Scalabrine.
The White Mamba.
The White Mamba.
Yeah,
They had
nasty.
some role players too, bro.
And so then he took that team, and then he went from there to the Clippers with Lob City. Yeah, with Blake Griffin, CP3,
DeAndre Jordan.
He went to the Sixers after that?
The Sixers. Did they ever play? Did he coach for the Brooklyn Nets?
No.
No. Okay, so then he goes to Sixers. I mean Sixers and he
with
inherits
Embiid and
I'm just saying,
Ben
like,
Simmons.
Ben Simmons in his
and
prime.
I'm not saying like JJ Redick hasn't just inherited a super team or anything like that, but I'm just like there's a difference.
Well, I don't think it was a super team compared to
No,
everybody else.
Sorry, I mean,
he
I
had
just
two stars
because
and-
LeBron, he's like three players in one. He's like
pretty much.
the basketball
And
trinity.
People forget that Clippers team had so many good role players, but they had Lou Will back in his prime when he was a
Fifth
six man.
of the year, or sixth man of
They
the
had
year.
Jamal Crawford.
That
Jamal
fool's got a
Crawford
bag.
and
He's
nasty
got a bag.
handles.
I think he's like, I think he's up there with like AI and Kyrie with the
Yeah,
handles. He was so
absolutely.
shifty.
He was like one of the first players. I was like, oh, you can like be like that. I was like,
Was
that's
playing
neat.
Allen out
I used to
there.
have all his animations on 2K16.
Ooh, they were nasty.
Cook.
2K16. That's a time to be alive right there.
That was my favorite 2K right
That's
there.
a time to be alive. I remember buying my first 2K was 2K11 with Michael Jordan on the cover. I didn't really know about basketball. My dad was like, that's the
2K12.
greatest. Was it?
I think it's 2K12 or 11.
I think and it was like that was like the greatest. And I was like, that's the greatest basketball player ever. I didn't know about LeBron that much. I mean, this was.
And then
15
you
years
ever
ago
play
now.
you ever play 2K14? That was the best intro
I was
of all
just
time.
telling Ray like 2K14 when LeBron became the villain. He was the cover. Like
and then they had like a crazy intro for him, and it was like I think it was to a Drake song.
Yep.
Or a Jay-Z or a Jay-Z song.
We don't like Drake on this podcast.
Whatever.
They love Drake.
He don't like Drake.
I don't like Drake.
Anywho.
Drake's trash.
But yeah, it was a pretty cool intro. I remember loading that thing up and I'd be hyped.
The one also 2K16's intro was crazy with Steph Curry. Was it
it was
Steph
like
Curry driven down?
it would show your little character cooking Steph Curry, James Harden, Anthony Davis, and then you go up and then you cook Michael Jordan and then like dunk on him.
Yeah, he went
It was
crazy. It was
crazy, yeah.
nuts.
It was like some fictional stuff too, like rocks are coming out the ground. and we
Massive
were like,
bowl.
Like Space Jam.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was actually pretty dope. Yeah.
It was really, really cool. All right. Well, let's cover what we think is, we get excited about. There were lots and lots of moving parts. But to continue our week in review, we're just going to hit on football. We'll start off with T. Higgins is kind of the first. We've got these things listed off as order as they happened. So we'll start with T. Higgins. He was tagged again for a year. So what are your thoughts on that? $26.2 million a year, by the way.
That's
for 1 year.
I feel like if you're going to pay him that much, you might as well just sign him and spread that money out over a couple seasons instead of just tagging him. Because they can tag him one more time next year if they wanted to.
And if they tag him for the third time, I believe he gets the third tag. You get whatever the highest paid quarterback salary is. Quarterback. I was just doing some research on this. So this is your.
You get $60 million a year.
$60 million, no cap, literally. And if I'm wrong, go ahead and fix it in the comments and change it. Let us know. But yeah, you get $60 million a year. He's in a
if I was them, I feel like I'd rather just sign him and spread the money out. That way you at least have security saying, "Hey, I have you here," or you like build in dummy years like they did for Devontae, where they said he was the highest paid wide receiver, but in reality, everything was pushed back to those last 3 years or 2 years. He ended up getting cut, so now he's not getting any of that money anyways. So
right,
I think they
just kind of backloaded, but
I guess they're just scared because tagging them for them.
They're like the Mr. Krabs of the NFL. They don't want to pay anybody. Like they're so stingy with their money. Like you have. You had the best quarter or the number one statistic quarterback, number one wide receiver, and the number one defensive end, and it's like you don't want to pay anybody. So it's just I don't know. I think tagging him is just kind of like what the Cowboys did with CD. I think it's just pushing back the inevitable that you're gonna either end up paying him or he's gonna leave, and you're gonna get a 1 year rental. So
yeah.
Speaking of Trey Hendrickson, didn't they just do something with Trey Hendrickson?
He requested a trade. They're letting him find a trade partner because they're not going to re-sign him. So, just going back to that.
Mr. Krabs.
Also, Jamar Chase is not signed.
Yeah.
Nah,
that's the crazy
so
part,
crazy.
too, is they tagged him. They tagged T. Higgins, and now you got to pay
And you can only tag one person.
Yeah.
So Jamar's like, yeah, I'm good, bro.
I think
like,
they should
have paid him last year because now he's gonna get.
He's a triple
bag.
crown.
Yeah.
He did triple crown.
It's not. We'll get into the market more later when we talk about the recent guy who just got signed.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But Jamar Chase has proven that he's a number one wide receiver, and I feel like when a guy proves that, then like he's proven he was a number one, and then he goes on to prove he's top 3, and now he's proven that he's number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Justin Jefferson. So he's definitely gonna want what Justin Jefferson got, if not more. So
I think the only thing about Justin Jefferson that sets him apart from Jamar Chase is Justin Jefferson has. I mean, not that he's got an opportunity to prove this. Jamar has it, but Justin Jefferson has proven it. Like I can do it with any quarterback.
Yeah.
Like he's just so physically gifted. I'm not saying that Jamar Chase isn't, but his build is like very Randy Moss. I mean, let's just be honest. It's just crazy how a team can draft 2 Randy Mosses.
Yeah.
But his build is just very Randy Moss, very lanky, tall, fast, gonna go up and Mossy catch the ball no matter what. And Jamar Chase is very similar, but he's like, I don't know, he's just different. I think it's just like he's got that X factor about him.
In my opinion, I've always liked Jets more, just for play style. I think Jamar does really good at finding those seams for Joe Burrow, and he's really good at run after the catch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing some of those games, I think that Ravens game when he posted like 300 yards almost.
Yeah.
He had like so many of those that he just caught in the middle of the field and just dusted everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Bengals are going to be in a tough spot, which they kind of done it
trouble.
to themselves.
Yes,
yeah. They did it to
in
themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate that. And I know Joe Burrow's talked about, maybe restructuring his contract to get some of these guys signed, but it doesn't look like that's been happening so far. Like, I don't know how far into talks they've gotten with that. If they're just going to say, you know what, let's just tag Higgins, let's get rid of our best D lineman. And then we'll figure out a way to pay Jamar Chase, and then still not protect Joe Burrow.
I know that's a big. I was just thinking. I was like, okay, like Joe Burrow's gonna take a pay cut for offensive linemen, and then we go back to our earlier podcast talking about like, okay, at some point in your career you've got to go win. And how did Tom Brady win? By taking pay cuts every year.
Yep.
Yeah. But no one's gonna remember that until that conversation comes up. Like, how did he win so much? He took pay cuts, and like some of these guys are just like, I'm gonna get my $500 million. Screw you, I'm the best. I'm like, really, bro? Like, take a pay cut. You can't even stay healthy. You're comeback player two years in a row or 2 times within 3 years. It's like you gotta take a pay cut and be healthy and be available. You can't win nothing if you're not available.
You think the Bengals should pull a Los Angeles Angels and just draft straight O-line this year?
Imagine
just draft
Joe Burrow is actually
all 7 rounds. Just
that'd be crazy.
Low key,
that'd be a strategy if you had everything you needed. But I think the draft is so much more important than the NFL.
Kat just said that Joe Burrow is going to end up being the Mike Trout of the NFL.
See, I didn't even pay attention to him, so.
That's a good comp.
That'd be a good comp.
Hey, I give you a good comp the other day though. What was it? What did I say? I said something about Mike Trout. I said so and so.
I have to go look at our messages.
We'll have to look. No, I think I was telling you about the dealership. I was saying something like, that's not a bad comp at all. I don't even remember.
I kind of like that Joe Burrow one. If Joe Burrow goes on and just keeps it hooping,
balling out, not making the playoffs.
Would you say Joe Burrow's the top 3?
Yes.
Okay, well, Mike Trout.
No.
Mike Trout was top 1 though.
He was top 1.
I talked to my dad about Mike Trout last night, and I saw him. He goes, no. He actually agreed with me. He goes, I don't think he had the best prime. He's like, he said, but you got to also define what the prime years are. He said, you got to define what the prime years are. He said, there's so many guys that had such good primes. Like, talking about a 4-year, 5-year, 6-year, 2-year, 3-year prime. Like, you got to look at it. And
he's had a really long time.
He had 8 straight years, or he was a runner-up in the MVP.
Football.
He had LeBron. He had the LeBron.
Like I said, that's a debate for another day.
I'm hurting.
I don't have time for that today. Next,
really like that.
Next up, Devontae. Where's he gonna land? We're still
Not
sticking with kind of still talking about wide receivers here. Devontae Adams.
Let him keep it professional, Kat.
I'm sorry.
We're trying to be professional here. I think. What if he goes back to the Raiders?
I don't think
Raiders signed Devontae, trade him for DK Metcalf to the Seahawks. That's my hot take. No, I'm just kidding.
Wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Devontae really lands anywhere. I mean, that anybody want to pay him a lot of money. I mean, if I'm getting Devontae, I want $10 million or less a year.
Yeah,
maybe a 1 or 2 year. I'm not paying him $30 million for 2 years, $40 million for 2 years. I'm like, bro. I mean, I just don't. I think he's gonna get old fast. I mean, he hasn't played a lot of games, so he hasn't been playing a lot of games, gotten crazy wear and tear, and now is aging. Like the last couple of years, he's gotten some good rest and hadn't played full seasons. So like, I think his legs will be fresh, but it kind of goes back to like almost like Antonio Brown type. Like he's gonna go sign somewhere where he can still ball out. I still think he's athletic. I still think he could be one of the top 10 receivers in the league. He's just not right now. But he would go somewhere and win a Super Bowl. Go play for the Chiefs. Go play for the Packers. I'm not saying that's a bad fit at all.
Come back home.
Yeah, finish your career. That's what I want. Von Miller got released, and I hope that the Broncos sign him for a super cheap deal. I hope he comes back and plays, and his kind of that veteran presence. That'd be cool for him to like.
It'd be Unk.
Yeah, Unk to Nick Benito and stuff like that. But we can talk about that more. But
I think he'd start.
No.
He'd be a rotational
He'd be
guy.
a good coming off and getting good snaps.
He gets good
still.
Fresh legs and come in and relieve somebody.
Yeah, especially in the playoffs, having someone like that experience in the playoffs and just
play like 20 snaps a game, but like really get after it.
I was thinking about Khalil Mack, who's a free agent this year, and like he could probably start somewhere, but he's Unk.
There's talks of him going back to the Bears too, so it's kind of like everybody's going back to where they started. But
I'm coming home.
But back to Devontae, I think it's going to kind of depend where. I think a lot of it's going to depend where Aaron Rodgers lands.
You think they're going to be that stuck together? I think after this...
he made it a huge point to do whatever he could to get back with either Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers. So I feel like he's
got loyalty.
He could go to the Saints. Yeah,
Saints don't have a guy. No,
yeah, got a new coach too.
Chris Olave, Mr. Concussion.
Rashid Shaheed.
They got Rashid Shaheed, who's a great
true.
deep threat, and then you add Devontae in the mix. I mean,
he could be going there.
I mean, they got Alvin Kamara, so
he could go to the Niners closer to home.
Yeah, but I think he's going to go somewhere that he's comfortable with the quarterback. So I think those are the three, because that's kind of what he's proven through his career. I mean, obviously he started with the Packers, so he had no choice but to have that relationship with Aaron Rodgers. But even after that, he went to Derek Carr and the Raiders because he's familiar with him, played college ball with him, and then he forced his way out to go play with Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting, but
Saints wouldn't be a bad spot for him.
That'd actually be that would make a lot of sense. Yeah,
make it,
especially with the new coach. I mean, Kellen Moore, offensive minded,
very offensive minded.
Yeah,
very sure for sure.
No, I was gonna say CD had a good year with Kellen Moore, right? But I don't know if that
he did.
Yeah, well,
it was that was his first year.
Almost MVP year, right?
That was CD Lamb's like first breakout year. I believe was with Kellen Moore. They just couldn't run the ball with Kellen Moore, but they didn't really have. Like they don't have anybody now to really run the ball.
Yeah,
I think that season was when Tyreek Hill and him were like having the 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
You think Tyreek deserved the Player of the Year over him?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Tyreek is a special player.
Tyreek is very, very small to play receiver and be as deep threat as he is. I know he's really, really fast, but there are a lot of fast guys in the NFL.
But
like
really
his
over the top
to be 5'10" and be a deep threat is
that's crazy.
Y'all remember Jay Ajayi?
Jay Ajayi, yes.
Steelers.
Dolphins, right?
Yeah, he was on the Steelers too.
Oh,
I think he got drafted by the Dolphins. We played on the Steelers.
Jay
too.
Ajayi.
He was a Madden legend. He had like 99 speed. Oh, Dree Archer was another one.
Drew Archer.
Yeah, Dree Archer was his name or something like that.
Dree Archer.
Stupid fast.
And then Saquon
Barkley.
Saquon got paid.
Yeah.
Paid. I mean,
I
mean, you could almost say he single-handedly won them everything. I mean, even in the Super Bowl, I know Jalen Hurts balled out, but it was like because they're like, don't let Saquon run the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he carried the ball like 30 times and had like 60 yards.
Their game plan was stop Saquon.
Yeah.
Saquon.
Make Jalen Hurts prove that he's a quarterback. And that
And
fool
he
balled
did.
out low-key. I saw when he was
did.
at Oklahoma. Me and Lilo went and saw him when he was at Oklahoma when he had CeeDee Lamb. They played West Virginia. They absolutely smashed him.
Mm-hmm.
It was...
So I heard, I was talking to one of my friends who's a Cowboys fan. He was like, if CD had his college quarterback, he'd look like Jamar Chase right now. And I was like,
he had Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking Dak Prescott over Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. I think we talked about that on the podcast.
I might even
too.
take a Mississippi State Dak over OU Hurts.
Mississippi
State. No, Mississippi State Dak was nasty.
He was nasty.
He was carrying that Mississippi State team in the SEC.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah,
But
I mean, he was definitely carrying it.
Jalen Hurts had a way better team, so it's kind of hard to compare.
But see, and that sways more to Dak because he was carrying the team.
Oklahoma wasn't that good of a team when he was there.
They didn't have a defense. They never had defense.
They've
in the
never
Big 12.
had
It was
defense,
Big 12 doesn't have
completely.
defense. They don't believe in defense. They believe in offense.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's such a weird thing, like a conference identity. Like, all right, who cares about defensive players? We got to get the best guys to go crazy. So Saquon got paid. Devontae, we don't know where he's going to go. Cowboys said they're going to be drafting a quarterback.
Yep. Yeah, there's reports. Actually, it was one of the Jones sons, Stephen Jones, maybe. He went on the radio and said that they plan on drafting a quarterback, which is kind of crazy when you just paid Dak $60 million a year. So it's like, are you really giving up? And also, you traded a third or fourth round pick for Trey Lance. Like, he was supposed to be your backup plan. Yeah. So now you're just kind of trashing that away too. And I mean, Dak is still young. I feel like he's 31. He's not. I mean, he's not like an aging quarterback, but he has had a lot of injuries. But at the same time, you have other glaring needs as a team that I would address if I was them, especially with the quarterback. This quarterback group really isn't that deep. So, I mean, I don't know where you're going to – I mean, unless you draft a quarterback high, which I don't think that would make any sense when you need O-line help after Zach Martin retired, and you need a running back.
And can we talk about the Jonathan Mingo trade, how bad that's aged? I mean, what'd they give, a third?
Bro.
And who else just got someone for a third?
Maybe that's how it'd be if I was a GM.
Well, Geno Smith went for a third, but
Christian Kirk got traded for a
seventh round pick.
I
want to talk more about that. Yeah, Jonathan Mingo,
the Christian Kirk, but I think the Cowboys just kind of. I don't know. Obviously, we're not GMs. Obviously, we don't get.
But I'm not an idiot either.
But yeah,
I think we're all a little smarter than Jerry Jones.
At the same time, I don't think they've handled this roster very well.
What's up with the Jones on the radio station? Because I remember in mid-season, you remember Jerry Jones was going off
the radio, and he was like, "If you talk bad about me, I'm not ever coming on the show. I'll get you fired."
Yeah, you got a show because of me.
He said, "You'll never be able to talk about the Cowboys on this show again."
And it's like, bro, what?
That's
I don't know.
Tripping. Wilding out. He crashed out.
He did crash out. But no, the Jones is, I don't know. It's just he runs a family business, which is good. I mean, hey, like, you put your family in that position to do that. But at the same time, I think there comes a time and point where you have to kind of self-evaluate and be like, am I really the best option for this? Because he's like the GM, owner,
everything,
coach, kind of. I mean, he's in there. He's involved in everything, marketing, promotion, everything.
And you got to say, like, also, but he has done a good job in places. I mean, he's done a decent job. I think he just won't take any advice, and that's where it hurts him. Like, he's drafted Dak. I mean, I didn't even know who Dak was until he played for the Cowboys. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he's drafted good offensive linemen. He has typically drafted good running backs, like things like that. He has Micah Parsons. I mean, that's not hard to hit on a first-round pick, but he just doesn't take any advice. And it's like sometimes advice is keep Mike McCarthy because we have no one else to hire, and you go hire Brian Schottenheimer? Is it Brian Schottenheimer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you hire him, who's not proven himself to be good at all. And like you should, people are saying just keep Mike McCarthy, even if you sign him to a small deal, like just bridge the gap. My other thought is they're trying to tank.
Yeah.
Get rid of Dak.
For Arch.
Move off his contract and get Arch Manning.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that.
I mean, that would be great for their publicity, which what he
hook him.
That's what
Sorry.
Arch gotta make it there first.
Yeah.
Oh, Arch gonna be there.
But I mean, that would kind of fit their narrative of what, he's all about publicity. And he's done a great job. I mean, the Cowboys are the wealthiest franchise in the NFL. So I mean, you can't knock him for that, and he has drafted great. I think the biggest thing too is also the coaching. Is he just is so involved that he doesn't let the coach.
Yes,
coach.
Let him coach.
Yeah,
they get personally, if their feelings are getting involved, they get hurt. And the thing is, like, he doesn't do well in free agency.
No.
So as a GM, it's not just
just the draft.
Also, we have some Cowboys fans at work, and we were like, man, I can't believe they signed that defensive tackle that no one knows. And they were all raving about him.
Yeah.
And then I pulled up this article, and then we looked at it, and there was like
22nd ranked or 23rd ranked.
23rd ranked out of all 32 starting defensive tackles. Like, you just paid him some major money for really no one to know.
Yeah, they just re-signed him. So I know a few respectful Cowboy fans. Like, they're actually not too biased, and they all just know that Jerry Jones got this ego. Because even in the 90s when they had Bill Parcells, he only played like one season with them, and then they got him off because him and Jerry would
butt heads.
Yeah, butt heads.
Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was he before?
I think he was there. I think he was in '89. Like, when he was the first season that Jerry Jones was there, or something like that. First few seasons.
In '89.
Yeah,
okay.
But then he won all the Super Bowls with Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
so
Jimmy
Bill Parcells was first.
Bill Parcells was known.
I think it was probably later.
Later. Oh, later. Okay, sorry. Oh, yes. Yeah, and like
'cause
right before the 2000s.
I think Bill Parcells was there when T.O. was there.
Yeah.
And then T.O. and Bill Parcells were like arguing or something like that, and Jerry Jones kind of picked between them two and just kicked Bill Parcells out. But it's always been like Jerry Jones's ego, and that's why he doesn't shoot in the free agency. He didn't even shoot at Derrick Henry last year.
And that's crazy. That's crazy.
And a guy who wanted to come to
be
Dallas.
a Cowboy.
Yeah. That's nuts.
And they didn't even shoot at Von Miller, who grew up in Texas too.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't know. They just got a lot going on with Jerry Jones. I mean, I guess I don't want to put all the credit on him for drafting because I think they've got a good draft room together. Jerry Jones is kind of just like boop.
He'll take credit for it. That's
Yeah.
He's still gotta prove it though.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, like I want to give him a little bit of credit and not be like this guy completely sucks. But I mean, if it was, it's 90% suck, 10% okay.
30-year drought.
Literally, Dak Prescott was born the last time they won a Super Bowl, 93, right? Isn't the last time they won 93 or 95?
95.
Okay, so he was born. He was 2 years old the last time Cowboys won a Super Bowl.
When I was born, 95. So it's 29 years ago.
I was born in 98.
11 years later is when I was born. There's a whole childhood that happened for somebody before I was born.
And then you got WWE'd.
Yeah.
That's a little brother. So Broncos looking also, they need a running back really, really bad like the Cowboys do. And rumors on Aaron Jones possibly looking. Broncos looking to sign a veteran. Got to get a run game figured out. I think it's a big
I think
problem.
the Broncos did a good job last year running with three guys. Had a good rotation, but I think you really want to get someone who's really a certified dog, like just like Josh Jacobs, who's your bell cow. Someone who's is going to be that dependable back. Derrick Henry,
Speaking of Josh Jacobs, I heard someone tell me constantly last year how bad Josh Jacobs was. A friend of mine.
That he was overpaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
shout out.
Yeah.
Hey, but Javonte Williams pre-ACL, he was going to be that dude low-key.
I'll never draft him in fantasy.
Yeah.
He did me
Javonte.
dirty.
That's so funny. And then all right, quick story about it. Was it the same year we went and watched the game?
Yep.
We had him on fantasy football. He had done terrible all year.
So I was like, I'm going to bench him.
Ray benches him. We go watch the Packers-Broncos play in person. That fool goes off.
And I'm like, bruh, no way.
See, like some days he still got it. I'm telling you, before the ACL, bruh.
He did have a few games last year where I was like, okay, yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't even just sign him to like a minimum before just saying we're not going to do anything with him.
Yeah.
Like, and now if he didn't want to sign, that's different. But like, bro, you're on an NFL roster. You know how hard it is to stay elite as a running back in the NFL? Like,
he has such a short lifespan compared to every other position.
Especially
I think
when
of Todd Gurley when I think of running backs that, so sad. Shout out to
the GOAT.
R.I.P. He's not dead, but he doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, R.I.P. to his career.
But I mean, that's what happens when you get injured in the running back position, especially something severe like your ACL.
Yep.
Like you're gonna lose your step, and there's only a few guys who come back from that. I mean,
I think the only guys that come back with that are like running backs who have like. There's athletic running backs, there's power running backs, there's receiving running backs. You can have any of one of those skills, but what sets you apart really is your vision as a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Like any of those guys can
Bell
succeed. Like Le'Veon Bell.
didn't he have a bad ACL injury?
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah,
he did. And then he just had that holdout, which really screwed him up. I feel like he didn't work on his craft at all. But like I feel like if you're gonna be a consistent running back, like dude, look at Derrick Henry, power back, run someone over. But look at the way he gets to the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless it is like a 22 power where it's just like you're going this hole no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of getting to line a little bit slower, finding the holes and running. And he's been beaten up. I mean, people, when they tackle Derrick Henry, he's as tall as you are, 6'3", I'm 6'5", 230 pounds of lean muscle, running 22 miles an hour at you. You just got to tackle him with the legs. So, like, he's been hit hard.
Oh, yeah.
I think the longevity of it comes from just saying, I think the vision of the running back.
Yeah.
If the better the vision you have, like it's just a brain processing thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When he was on the Titans, I'd watch him every Sunday.
I thought you said when I was on the Titans. I thought you were going to say when I was
on the Titans with Derrick Henry, watch him come out the backfield. Now I'm playing, but yeah, I'd see him get cracked sometimes, and he'd just get right back up. And I just used to hate when we'd give him like 30 carries, and then like he's having a good game, and then we just stop.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah, like him, you got to keep feeding him.
But he can handle that too.
Yeah.
But I think the Broncos need someone that's like a consistent guy. That's like, hey, third down, we're going to you. Like we're running the ball and they know it, we know it, and we can still get
better
it.
than you. That's my favorite kind of coaching.
Kyron Williams type of guy.
Yeah.
That would be nasty. But you have to trade for him. I don't know how much.
But just that type of guy.
Yeah, that type. Yeah, for sure. Which I don't know if you go out and get that in the draft or. because this draft is pretty deep too at the running back position.
Yeah, I think Judkins is. If we had a draft running back, I think I want Judkins.
Yeah,
he's that guy that's like,
see,
just look at him. He's just like, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And me and you are gonna find out
Yeah.
in the hole. We're gonna find out who's better. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's kind of like the guy that if we had to go draft one, obviously Ashton Genty. But I don't know. The more I watch Ashton Genty, the more I read about him, I think the less I like him.
Yeah, I think that's a common thing that a lot of people are saying.
The more film I watch,
yeah.
I'm like, dude, this guy was going crazy.
Okay.
I mean, he
Well,
had crazy art. I mean, he was one of the highest rated guys in the combine. But I mean, a lot of people were also saying Omarion Hampton. They're saying he's neck and neck with him, and he was kind of just put to the side after his junior year.
Mm-hmm.
He went off his junior year too, but the name was just Ashton Genty.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't talk about it last week for the combine, but did y'all see Trayvon Henderson actually ran a quicker 40 than Quinshon Judkins?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like on the field too, though, Henderson looked a little bit quicker. Yeah.
I just think maybe I want that personality on the Broncos, like because I mean obviously Bo Nix has got that dog in him. We saw him yell at Sean Payton and stand his ground, but almost like as a running back, like like having that attitude, like I'm quicker, I'm better is great, but I want a dog, like just that wants to go and prove it. Even if he's good for 4 or 5 years and he's done, like that's Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was gonna meet you in the hole and say, I am better, stronger, faster, quicker than you'll ever be, and that's just how it was. And Derrick Henry's the same way, but just not so. He's a lot more mild mannered. I think we need someone that's gonna go in and like give me the ball.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and down.
Yeah.
3 yards to go.
Yep.
We've got to get the first down. Give me the ball. Instead of saying, okay, let's drop a screenplay. You know, like classic Sean Payton.
There might be a lot of those mentally tough guys in this draft because of how stacked it is. They feel overlooked.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
Omarion Hampton for sure probably feels overlooked. Quinshon Judkins would have been one of the top running backs if he stayed at Ole Miss, but he transferred to Ohio State and had to split carries
with Trayvon.
Yeah.
So,
And then you got the Texas Tech running back. What's his name?
Taj Brooks.
Taj Brooks. I think he's the same way. I think like he's a. I watched some more. If you were talking about him last week, I watched some more like tape on him.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
He's stout.
I saw him
Yes,
against West Virginia in real life. He had this crazy run. He broke like 5 tackles, 30-yard run. And I was like, geez.
You got Donovan Edwards out there too.
Yeah, another one who's been overlooked.
He's not one of the guys that's going to run you over, but he's great out of the back. I mean, he's a good back. So there's going to be a lot of.
And he had to face adversity for being on the cover and then not having that good of a season. So
he had a bad season. That cover was kind of crazy. The only one that went off really well. I guess Quinn Ewers did all right.
Quinn Ewers had a good statistical season. And he also played the whole season with a torn oblique.
Yeah. And Travis Hunter was on there too. So I guess
Heisman winner
was the only one that was kind of disappointing.
Heisman with a 1 and a 2.
He 12-man.
He 12-man. Also Texans. Okay, so this is crazy. I put this on our little notes page we have. I said Texas need depth at wide receiver, and like a day later, after the Jags had released Christian Kirk, they rescinded the release to trade him for Christian Kirk. I'm a big Christian Kirk guy.
Yeah, that's your fantasy.
That's my fantasy go-to. Last year was your first year I didn't have him, and I was like, he was injured.
Luckily he didn't. He's hurt.
So I pulled up some stats real quick. So obviously a full season is 18 games, but obviously you only play 17 games, 18 weeks. So he had 36 games, which is basically 2 full seasons. And in those 2 games he played, he had 168 catches, 2,200 yards, and 12 touchdowns. So that breaks down to about 86 catches per season, 1,200 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Like, that's exactly what they needed. And, like, he did get paid a bag, and people were complaining about – that first year he went off like crazy. And he's just been injured the last 2 years really bad. But people were complaining about, like, him as a receiver. I think he's –
I think he still got it.
I think he's got it. And now he's going to go, and he's going to be the number 2 under – not Tank Dell.
Nico.
Thank you. Nico Collins. And like he's gonna, that's exactly what he needs to be. Like he was trying to be a number 1 at Jacksonville, not that he couldn't be that, but it's just a lot of pressure for a guy. But he could be able to go in the slot, dominate in the slot. I think that's such a great for a 7th round pick. You can't draft a better you can't draft a better receiver in the 7th round.
Exactly. That's
and getting a veteran that knows what he's doing.
That's the way how to value that is. Like, am I gonna get a better wide receiver in the 7th round than I would him? No, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and get
and then
that,
because they traded for him, they don't have to go try to like overpay him or try to go fight. I mean, he's got 1 year left on his deal, I believe, because he's been there 3 years on a 4-year, $90 million or $100 million deal or something like that, some crazy deal.
He did sign a really huge contract, but I think people will tend to forget that season he had with the Cardinals before he got signed. He went off with them.
Yeah, and then he had a great year with the
Jags that first year, but he's just been injured, and so
BTJ.
Yes.
Yeah.
My goat. Yeah, my goat.
Your fantasy goat.
My fantasy goat right
that was
there.
A huge pickup, but I mean, Also sticking with the Jags, I mean, they have $60 million in cap space now after trading him, which ranks them the 7th in the NFL. Kind of gives the young GM a real shot to prove what he's about. I know we kind of talked about it, that I was like, man, he's a young guy that he was kind of nepotism. This is what they're saying, is that he was given that role just because of who his dad was and this and that. But I think this will give him a good shot to really show, like, hey, I know what I'm doing. And he's had good interviews and stuff like that. So
$60 million is a lot of money to go make a splash in free agent market.
Especially when you already have your quarterback. I mean, per se, at least for another year.
I really hope Trevor Lawrence balls out.
I think
he's been injured even, and then he took that major hit on that slide.
Out from the Texans player. Yeah. I don't even want to try and pronounce his name, but he's played for the Titans.
Dirty.
And the
he's
Niners,
not as dirty as Derwin James. I can't.
Shout out Zeden if you're watching.
I was going to say Zeden.
But all right, let me pose this question to you: if you were a brand new GM and you had $60 million to work with, you think you're going to make something shake?
No. No, because next season I have $120 million. I'm gonna tell them that. I'm gonna say, hey, this year we're gonna go with who we got
this year.
I'm not even tanking, but I mean, hey, I'm gonna go sign a cheap offensive lineman here. Maybe go get some defensive players here. Maybe trade and get some picks. Next year, though, when I have $100 million, y'all better be ready.
But if you save that, the next season, then you'll have
$100 million,
140.
100, whatever the cap space. Like what the Patriots have done. Look at the Patriots done. They spent no money the last 2 years. They have $125 million in cap space. If they don't do something with that money,
this upcoming week's gonna be crazy.
Oh man,
we might have to have a breaking episode. It starts on Wednesday.
Hey, I was thinking Wednesday would be a good time. Be on the lookout. We might have something Wednesday. Might go a full
emergency
live
pod.
A little late nightcap type deal.
I got
the Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, imagine hopping on there. We should come in our jammies.
Yeah. We'll let Shannon get on here with us.
Yeah, I'll call him up. We'll text his agent.
But no, I get what you're saying. To let that money stack, especially when there's so many holes to fix on the Jags. You might as well just draft as good as you can.
And then
and like also like I know we looked at free agents in the NFL. Like I mean I know there's a lot of them, but like most of them are quarterbacks. I feel like there's a lot of quarterbacks. I mean T Higgins,
people keep getting released though. So
yeah,
well, yeah. I mean if T Higgins got franchised this year and then he becomes a free agent next year, you go get him, pair him with Trevor.
You go get
and BTJ.
Yeah,
and BTJ.
There's just not a lot of like.
That'd be a nasty receiver.
There's not a lot of like youngish,
two big guys.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like next year you've got. There's just not like a lot of. You get Brian Murphy. You know,
this free agency I don't really like too much. I mean, the names that are getting released are making it better.
Drake Greenlaw.
Just from the straight guys who are in the free agency, I don't know how much I'd really shoot.
Yeah, the biggest names were really Myles Garrett, which he ended up re-signing. Max Crosby.
Holy cow! I'm just fine. I'm just saying like these. I'm saying like holy cow! Like these contracts. We can skip down there. I mean, it's right there. We're at the end, but these contracts, these defensive guys just. And the Browns are saying, like, yo, we do not want to trade you. Let us build around you. And also, I got to give the Browns some credit for sticking with Kevin Stefanski because he's been there for a while now. He's had 2 or 3 good seasons. And then he's had 2 or 3 bad seasons. And they're like, we've got to set some kind of culture. He's got to. So I think this next 2 years, if Kevin Stefanski can't get any done in the next 2 years, he'll be gone for sure. I really think so. But they've been very patient with him. I got to give it up to the Browns. Like, good job. And now they're saying, no, Miles, we're a championship team. We're going to try to go make a run. And we're in the NFC. Wait, AFC? Or NFC? AFC. In the AFC, yeah. And we're in a tough division. Like, we need you. We can't afford to trade you. So what they do, they said, we're going to pay you, big dog. $40 million through 2030.
He's got a quarterback contract. I kind of skipped ahead. But he got, $40 million through 2030. So he's locked down for a bit.
2030.
Yeah. They didn't say how many years. It just said through 2030. So I don't know what his contract entails. But
so he's they got him locked down for a good bit.
I'm gonna have a beard by then. I'm gonna have a little beard by then. It's gonna be a little minute.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see how the Browns try and build around him. I mean. I think they're a few pieces away too. I mean, they had a good defense. What was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago?
Like the number one defense.
Year, they made playoffs.
Yeah, and they made the
Joe
playoffs.
Flacco.
Well, that's 2 years ago now.
Was it 2 years? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Because this past
Last
season.
Year just ended
but that defense was crazy. I think they allowed the least first downs in the whole NFL.
Yeah. I mean, it's just going to be kind of crazy because they need a quarterback. So I guess now that kind of puts them in prime position for
at number 2.
To go get their guy.
And the Browns at number 2.
Yeah.
Like
Like a number 2?
like a number
Browns
two.
are number
the
2.
Browns are number 2.
They're officially.
You think they're going to get number 2?
Okay, I got a crazy thing on the NFL. Well, let's finish up where we're at. I'm sorry about the Browns. Well, we're there with the Browns. So, Shedeur falling in the draft, supposedly. Okay. So, here was my thought. Browns don't draft a quarterback.
Ooh.
They draft Travis Hunter. Okay? Hear me out. Shedeur is falling in the draft. People, just like his dad, arrogant, whatever like that. Okay? Falls in the draft
You think
outside of the top 15. Okay? I'm just putting this out here. Let's say he falls in the draft. I think the Browns then could trade up.
From
Trade
the second round?
Yeah, I think they could give a haul and go get Shedeur.
Are you giving up a haul for Shedeur?
If you're the Browns, you might to have that combination. Which I said I'm not super high on Shedeur. Like I said, very, very high floor, very, very low ceiling. Could be completely wrong. I'm not an NFL expert, which I don't know how you get that title just by covering the news.
By paying people.
Yeah, okay. Well, then call me an NFL expert.
Yeah, I mean, but would you not just rather go get a veteran QB?
I mean, you have Deshaun Watson.
Is he
got 2
still hurt,
years.
though, isn't he?
Well,
I mean,
he won't play this season, so that's what I'm saying. Like, do you then just go? I mean, I don't know what the Browns. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a tough spot.
I just think that now that the Browns, I just think that they are.
Would you move back from the second pick?
Maybe move back and then draft Shedeur later. I don't know. I really think that maybe you take, if the Titans don't take him, which I think the Titans are going to draft Cam Ward.
I hope so. I'll take either one. Honestly, there's 3 guys that I set whoever if we pick one of these 3, I'm gonna cop the jersey, and it's Shedeur, Hunter, and Ward for sure.
Not.
You're not going for Abdul?
No, I wouldn't get his jersey. I'd be happy if we got Abdul, but then that just means another season of being in the top 5 pick again. Because he's not gonna flip our team around to where.
You're winning games.
I mean, y'all's defense was pretty good last year already anyways.
It's very stout.
So then you add him to an already good defense, you get better defense, but that doesn't fix your Will Levis issue.
Yeah, so we still just got to wait out another year. Yeah, another year of whoever the quarterback is going to be, either Will Levis or who is our Mason Rudolph?
Mason
Rudolph. That's a name.
The truth.
The truth. The nicknames. This guy's got names for everybody. The truth. All right. I don't know. I think if the Browns maybe take Travis Hunter. He's a generational player for sure. And then if you can, I don't know. And then maybe say you don't get a quarterback this round because I think maybe next year are going to be a better quarterback draft or the year after that. And you said you got Deshaun Watson for 2 more years. Didn't he? He's going to restructure. I think I read somewhere Deshaun Watson's going to restructure his contract.
I think they were in talks with it, but I think you brought up his re-injury of his Achilles.
If they can, I don't know if they're pressing after that, with the re-injury. But I don't know if the Browns, they were like, okay, we're gonna see if he did it by not listening to doctors, because then they can get out of his contract. But I think maybe Deshaun Watson just needs a chance again. I don't know. I think he's just been so long out of football.
I think it's just so hard to give up on him when he was so young, and it was him and Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, they were head to head.
They were the top 2 quarterbacks in the NFL.
AFC Championship game, right?
Yeah,
they played.
Yep. Nuts, yeah. And I thought he was better than Mahomes. I'm going to be honest. I thought I would have picked him.
I would agree that too.
Mahomes
won those Super Bowls,
and he had a really good college career.
Yes, Clemson.
So it's gonna be a tough decision.
So maybe the Browns are like, hey, we've got our guy. We already paid him. Let's go get Travis Hunter.
Let's get a generational talent that can play on both sides of the ball. So then you help Myles Garrett and you help Deshaun.
And then tell Myles Garrett, we're gonna get coverage sacks. We're gonna cover them. Their number one. We're gonna cover their number 1 so well that you're gonna be able to tee off, because he's got the most sacks in the last 3 years. 44, 46. 44.
Imagine they still draft Abdul Carter though at 2.
Oh
that would be nuts too, though.
They'd really solidify.
If the Titans get Cam Ward and then you put Abdul next to him.
I think the Browns are in a perfect spot to not finally mess up a first-round pick. Man, imagine they just kept Baker Mayfield.
They went back to back
Mayfield.
with Myles Garrett and Baker Mayfield in the first round. So
if they had just kept Baker Mayfield, we're talking about a whole nother team.
Maybe this could be that year they take Abdul this year, which was when they took Myles. And next year they take Arch Manning or something.
I think Arch will be at Texas for 2 more years.
You think so?
Unless a team that has the first overall pick is a team that his grandpa wants him to go to. Like if Papa wants me to go to this school, I'm gonna go. My pappy said, my daddy said in the army. Anyways, I think Arch is at Texas for 2 more years, unless, like I said, a team that is really good maybe had a career injury on a quarterback or got injured was like, hey, you need to go there. You know,
Yeah.
but I think he's in the NFL in the college for at least 2 more years. I need 2 natties out of him and 2 Heismans. I need 2 natties, 2 Heismans. I need a Tim Tebow type
It's gonna
career.
be hard with Bryce Underwood at Michigan. You know.
I know you're talking crazy. DK Metcalf once out. We know that official reports Seattle Seahawks have lowered the asking price for him. I believe they originally wanted a first and a second
is what they wanted.
But we saw the market change. Were you going to talk about that? The market change?
I think we did last season. Or not last week. Last week.
I can't remember.
A whole year ago.
On the previous episode.
Yeah,
but,
we talked about it.
On the previous episode of the Bounce Pass Page podcast. So definitely lowering their price.
I think with the Christian Kirk trade too, that just kind of solidified again, like, hey, we're not willing to pay
Receivers.
top dollar for wide receivers anymore.
Yeah, my
I
opinion
mean,
has slowly been changed over the last 2 years, but actually seeing the result. Ray was ahead of the curve. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I just seeing the way that these organizations are like, man, I'll trade you a 5th, with the exception of the Cowboys trading for Mingo. That's just like a
Throwaway
like
pick.
the Packers.
Fleeced.
I mean,
The Carolina
who is it?
Panthers sitting there on the up and
the
up.
Raiders traded Devontae for a 3rd, so like that's like the top of the market
Yeah.
for a wide receiver.
Because he was
still. I mean,
he's a dude.
He's still a guy. But and then
Devontae still has good hands. I know I was saying like kind of hating on him earlier, but I mean,
Still
you
a
don't
great
lose your
separator.
hands. Yeah, can
So-
separate.
He had some good games for the Jets.
I just don't think he's going to be the guy that takes the top off like he used to.
No.
But-
But his route running is
Yeah, yeah. But
it
I
looks
think
like me out there.
Yeah, but I think for like DK again, I would be so happy to get him, but I'm not going to pay. I'm definitely not paying a 1st and a 2nd for him. Like I
No.
said, I'm probably paying a 4th or 5th, 3rd or 4th. What did I say last week? 3rd or 4th.
I was gonna say, don't keep going backwards.
No, 3rd or
but maybe.
4th.
Yeah, I'm still a 2nd or a 3rd.
Yeah.
I don't like a first. I don't want to get a 1st anymore for him because I said Matthew Golden, you go get him probably a 2nd, 3rd round.
I get your idea though, like second or third, just because you want to kind of up the ante.
It just depends on where your team's at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're a team that doesn't really need a receiver, but may want him, a 3rd and a 4th, maybe a 5th wouldn't be bad. But I'm gonna stick on my stance. Like if you're the Packers, or even I'd say the Broncos, like you have Cortland Sutton and then you got DK Metcalf, like giving up a 2nd or a 3rd to, especially in the AFC. If you're in the AFC and you need a receiver, now's the time to go get him. Like because it's gonna be a tough division. And shouting out our boy Drew at work.
Shout out Drew.
Gino to the Raiders for
The
a
Raiders.
3rd.
Hey.
I think Gino is a great fit for the Raiders. It's just it's the Seahawks 2.0.
Yeah.
I mean, do we know who their offensive coordinator is going to be? Is it Chip Kelly?
Chip Kelly. Yep.
Gino is going to be. Gino might be an MVP candidate.
I think. I mean, again, like we talked about last week too. I think there are a few pieces away. That definitely helps.
They need to
But
re-sign them.
this was Drew's hot take was if we get our quarterback, we're going to be one of the best teams in the conference. Which I still don't think they're there, but they need a few more pieces. But it definitely helps to have a solidified quarterback. And Geno Smith is still really good.
He's been throwing for a lot of yards.
He was just kind of running for his life last year.
He's
with
34
the
years
Seahawks,
old.
But
He's a little old, but he still has got some athletic ability to him.
And he's got years in the league.
But the good thing for the Raiders is he's got a 1-year deal left already. Go sign him for do a 2-year extension, have him till he's 37, go draft your guy in between there, get him solidified in the system, have him sit, have him learn. I think the issue with NFL over the last 10 years was like, we got to draft a 20-year-old who's ready to start. And it's very far in between. It's the Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrences, the Deshaun Watsons, Baker Mayfield. Like very, very few guys are that young are ready to start the NFL. There's nothing wrong with going the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love route. Come in, you're 20, 21 years old, you
even
start
Michael
at 24.
Penix sat for almost the whole season until
And
they
also,
had to.
he
9
also
months.
played 4 seasons of college football, and I think
Yeah.
we're seeing that happen with Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix and these
Yeah.
guys are giving
They
them a
have
hard
more
time about being
experience.
24 and 25 years old. And it's like, okay, they came in and balled.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want for a quarterback.
It's all about the
young.
experience too.
Literally.
Like going back to those guys, they were starters in college, so they had 4 years to start. Really learn a system, and now they're going to the NFL, and having to learn a system again. But they've had that kind of background of being a starter and knowing how to prepare as a starter.
Absolutely.
So
If I'm the Raiders, I'm shooting on Ashton Genty.
That's
Give me
literally
him.
what I have right here. I literally had that. Oh, I
didn't
didn't know you're on
even-
the notes page. No,
I
no,
didn't even
you're-
read that.
No, literally, I was thinking either Kelvin Banks from Texas, he's going to be a nasty offensive tackle, or Genty at 6. They needed running back. So you either say, okay, we got to protect Geno because they were the worst offensive line in pressures. They allowed so many pressures. They constantly couldn't get any protection. So you either go, okay, let's go get an offensive line so we can actually throw the ball to Jacoby Myers, who didn't have a single drop last year.
He's pretty nasty.
Like top 10 receiver, just underrated.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean,
and he's always got that thing hanging over his head when he tried to backwards lateral it.
Yeah.
That one game.
Oh my God.
He's always, when I think of Jacoby Myers, I always think that he backwards lateraled it to, who was it? It was that guy I'm not trying to hate. The dude with CTE now. What's his name? John Jones' brother, Chandler Jones. Yeah, he took it.
Yes.
He took it from Jacoby Myers and returned it for the touchdown.
He said the guy with CTE.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be mean, but that's just why I remember him now.
I mean, Mr. CTE, we got a lot of mascots. We got a lot of faces for the NFL CTE. But yeah, I literally put that on there. And like I said, I know you weren't looking, but like literally we were on the same thought.
Yeah,
It's Genty at 6.
Wavelength.
Or Kelvin Banks at 6. I mean, I don't think you're going to. I think if you're taking an offensive tackle in the top 10, that's got to take Texas. He is a dog, bro.
I like Will
We
Campbell.
saw him live when we went and watched Michigan play. These Texas offensive linemen came out.
Humans.
I thought I was huge at 6'5" and 350 pounds. These guys are massive. I was scared to even look at them.
Yeah, these guys are massive. But yeah, I mean that's definitely the route to go. Again, like I said, they're a few pieces away, so. Maybe
much closer than they were last week when we were like, and I was like,
they got their
terrible
quarterback.
take.
Yeah,
That's a terrible take. I was like, that's what.
And I think also last week too, we were thinking Max Crosby was going to be gone.
Yeah,
them keeping him, I think, is going to be very beneficial.
Is he a top 3 edge?
Max Crosby?
Because there's Miles. You maybe throw Micah up there. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
Do you feel like Micah is an edge
really
or
edge, though.
like a?
I think
he's
he's
just
an
like
outside
a hybrid
linebacker.
Like
right?
Von Miller, very Von Miller type.
Yeah.
He could play.
Yeah,
edge. Max Crosby. I mean, he definitely strikes the fear into people. Like when he comes off the ball, they're trying to double team him or chip him with the running back.
Yeah, top 3.
Top 3.
I mean, who would you
I can't think anyway.
Would you say Chris Jones
him?
could say edge, or is he DT?
Defensive tackle. He's right in the middle always.
But he plays. He could play anywhere.
He could play either way.
He kind of reminds me of Aaron Donald in that
anybody
sense.
else? Yeah, Aaron Donald type.
Yeah.
I can't think of another edge
got a
rusher.
I mean, Hunter for the Texans.
Yeah.
Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
But
Will Anderson's coming up. I was talking to one of my buddies about this. I think Jalen Carter. I don't want to say it yet, but I think he might be like a top 5 defensive player coming into next season.
Off the line?
Bro, he wrecked.
Or just all defense?
All defense.
Okay.
Coming into next season. Because he wrecked in the playoffs.
Well, you got Myles Garrett. Pat Surtain is definitely up there.
Pat Surtain is the number 1 defensive player in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm sorry.
He won the DP.
When your quarterback rating is better by throwing it into the dirt than throwing it at him.
Yeah.
I know it's like you want a guy that's going to get a lot of sacks like Myles Garrett, right? That's what you think of defense. But when you can throw, like when I can throw the ball in the ground or anybody and your quarterback be higher than throwing at Patrick Surtain, that's embarrassing for anybody.
I think Aiden Hutchinson too is up there too, but he was hurt last year, so we forgot about him. But when he was playing, he was.
I mean, y'all still think Fred Warner and like those good linebackers are in the top 5 defensive? Roquan Smith.
I wouldn't put Fred Warner there.
But
maybe he just had a down year last year. I mean, I would say
Nick
if you asked me
Bosa.
2 years ago, yes.
TJ Watt. Don't forget TJ Watt.
TJ Watt.
I just looked it up, so that's all I know.
I just think Jalen Carter, what he showed in that playoff run is really
I mean,
bright.
he was definitely a steal in the draft for sure. I know we all kind of thought that whenever everyone's talking about him falling and the Eagles grab him.
What did he do? Was he speeding?
Or
Well,
something?
he was in
and
the
brandishing a fire weapon, I believe.
Well, I guess he was driving next to his buddy or something. They were racing, street racing, and his buddy crashed and died.
Oh. I thought he brandished a fire.
Okay, I think I remember that now. Yeah.
So
Sorry.
it was.
My bad.
There was even wasn't that the year that one of the players on Georgia too was like recording the draft, and some Asian guy was up there and he started like being racist on Instagram Live. Have y'all seen that?
Oh no,
I don't know
that's
about
wilding
that.
out.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna get
That's the year though they had that coach that was going crazy on that Snapchat. You remember?
Oh yeah, and he's like, "Is in the hotel."
Oh,
We'll show you the video.
yeah, show me the video. Go look it
He
up
was
for
going
yourself.
crazy, but yeah, the whole Georgia team. I think if they give them some car keys and they'll show you a good time.
Yeah. And also Henry Rooks.
My final thing about football, though, I guess, is Do you think Genty really is? Everybody has him going to the Cowboys, but you think he really gets out of the top 10?
No.
Because I think Bijan Robinson wasn't even as hyped as what Genty was. Whoever Genty is, and then he went to, what, 7?
Yeah.
I don't think
he makes it out of the top 10.
I mean, he had a good combine too, so I don't think he fell off anybody's boards. And I mean, who needs a running back? What's the order again?
Titans, Browns, Giants,
Raiders,
Patriots could get him.
Jags.
I think Patriots will probably go defense or offensive line.
Need offense or defense. I think the Raiders are going to grab him.
Yeah,
I think
might as well, bro.
Jets don't need
Panthers
him.
could grab him. I mean, with injuries.
They drafted Jonathan Brooks.
But also they could look at it just best player available.
The Bears. Why would the Bears not grab him if he felt that deep?
Swift.
Well, yeah, he's
but
definitely
Swift
not past He's definitely not past.
And I don't know if he'll pass the 49ers either. Think about it. If Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think if the Bears take him, that'd be good. They kind of give him the same situation that Jameer Gibbs got, because Jameer Gibbs came in with David Montgomery.
They just rebranded their offensive line too. I mean, they went out and got 2 guys.
They did really good with that.
They did very good in the free agency. You got to give it up to them. And probably some of that's Ben Johnson too, saying, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's go. I'm not going to be able to draft a better offensive. That's the thing. It's like if you're going to trade picks, the question, and I think everybody knows this, maybe I'm just reiterating dumb information, is like, can you draft a better guy at that pick?
Yeah. Not for Joe Thunley. Joe Thunley's nice.
Yeah,
it was nice. It's the guy that they switched all around the line last year.
I think he gave up no sacks last season.
He's all pro.
And then crazy, the Chiefs gave him up
for nothing really. Yeah, was it fourth round pick? I mean, yeah, I think the Bears did a good job.
Yeah, the Chiefs will work their magic.
Yeah, I think if the Cowboys really want a running back, they're gonna have to trade up and go get him. But they ain't trading with the 49ers. The Bears won't trade with them. They may trade with the Saints or the Panthers, but they're gonna have to trade and go get him. Because I mean, you've got the Raiders who need a running back, quarterback, receiver, running back, but they've got their quarterback for now. So then it says receiver or running back. This is according to NFL.com. So I definitely think you go get your running back.
Who Jags gonna get though? Jags are 5th.
Oh, I kept seeing Travis Hunter for them. Just
for the Jags, I don't know if they'll fall that.
They get O-line. Will Campbell.
Yeah, they need an offensive. They need an offensive lineman bad.
And they got rid of Evan Ingram. They could probably go for tight end. But that's pretty high for tight end.
You got to get a Brock Bowers if you're drafting that.
But Brock Bowers was 9 last year.
Yeah,
and he showed why he was 9. And maybe the stock.
Yeah, that's the other thing about the Raiders. I mean, they got Brock Bowers too. They got Jacoby Myers and Bowers. They literally need a running back.
And they get Genty.
Smith.
I think our boy Drew may have been onto something last week after I called his take terrible. It's just because I hate the Raiders.
He's going to have to clip that and show you when they win the Super Bowl next year.
Next year when they beat the Broncos 2 times, he's like, remember when you said this about
on that video?
Yeah, remember when he's... That's crazy.
That's funny. But I guess what else?
I think I got to call the timeout.
Oh, let's hear it.
Timeout here for Sammy's trivia timeout. We're going to start with...
Imagine he just bring a whistle and as loud as he can.
Imagine I hired a ref and he just walked in like...
Imagine. I got a ref jersey. We'll have you put it on. Remember that time when we had a real quick story where we start. We went to the Super Bowl party, the Chiefs versus the Eagles, and I wore my Chiefs jersey, which was actually just my referee jersey when I reffed high school football. And my mother-in-law was not impressed.
I mean, if we don't got that big of a budget, maybe we can ask them from Foot Locker to come down here with their little referee jersey. All right, well, we're going to be doing some quarterback blind resume tests. Okay. Now, I need to ask y'all, do y'all want to do rushing yards on here too, or just straight top 3
just
passing yards, touchdowns, picks?
Rushing's a little much.
Yeah,
yards, touchdowns, picks?
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah. All right. A completion percentage. You want QBR too? QBR. You just go ahead and give it all to us.
Sure.
All right, first quarterback, he had 4,100 yards, 4,172 to be exact, 41 touchdowns, 4 picks, and a 77.3 QBR. His completion percentage.
It sounds like someone, but
his completion percentage was 66.7.
Oh yeah, that's who I think it is.
Now the next one had 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 picks, and a 61.6 QBR. And he had, let me see, 71.4 completion percentage.
Higher.
71.
Give me Lamar Jackson.
What about you, Raymond?
I'm taking the first guy. I'm a stat nerd.
Yeah,
I think I take the first guy.
the first stats is crazy. 41 and 4.
I think just because the
41 and 4.
interceptions. Was the second guy? Was it? Hold on, 16 picks.
Second guy was 16 picks, but he was a lot more complete.
4,500 yards.
He was almost 7% more.
Was that Joe Burrow? Who was it?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh.
Okay, so it's Lamar and Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking. I mean, that Lamar 41-4 is crazy. That's not even including
that's Aaron Rodgers
total touchdowns. That's who I thought it was at first. I was
really?
like, wait a minute. I was like,
41-4, we're all doing quarterbacks who started this season.
This season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew. So you said 41 and 4.
Oh, you mean stats for this season?
Yeah.
For this last year that just happened. I don't know, but also Baker has just had as much success as Lamar in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're pretty even. They're pretty even. Yeah, I mean.
All right. Well, next one.
And also Baker had to work with the Browns in his first year, and now has the
and
Buccaneers
playoffs for the first time.
And also the Buccaneers. He's been at one of the 2 worst historical franchises of all times, and has changed them. And Lamar was inherited by the Ravens, who pretty good.
Been good
overall.
ever since they were a franchise.
Absolutely, but I'm taking Lamar. I'm sorry,
Lamar.
Next one, we got 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks, and a 48 QBR.
Oh my!
His completion percentage this year was 63.
Okay.
The next quarterback was 3,727 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, and a 49.8 QBR. And his completion percentage was 63.
What was the first guy? How many touchdowns to interceptions?
28 to 11.
And the second guy, 20 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll take Josh Allen.
28
and 12.
28 and 12.
Is that Josh Allen?
No.
Dang it! I don't know.
Wait. I said 28 and 11 was the first one.
Oh.
20 and 12.
Oh, 20 and 12. 28. Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was 28 to 11, but his QBR was a 48. And the next guy was 20 and 12.
What was his QBR? The same.
49.8.
I guess I'd take the guy with more touchdowns. His touch and interception ratio.
Was the other guy hurt or something?
Played the whole season.
That's crazy.
Played the whole season with 20 touchdowns
and 12 interceptions.
That Russell
played 17 games. Both of them. I tried to pick everybody who played 17 games.
Okay, that's pretty low touchdown percentage.
That has to be Caleb Williams, one of them. I feel like.
I thought 28-12 was Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Well, 28-11.
2011. Oh,
yeah.
I
don't know. I keep saying 12.
So who do you want the first?
I'd take 28
more
and 11.
touchdowns. Yeah.
28 and 11.
That was Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Against CJ Stroud.
Oh.
Man, I forgot. That's crazy. CJ Stroud had such a down.
Well, Aaron Rodgers did say, my worst years are other people's career years.
Crazy. I just took Aaron Rodgers.
He had a 40-something QBR, though?
Who?
That's pretty rough, bro.
Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, he had a 48 flat.
That's nuts.
Okay, now that I know who it is, I'm probably taking CJ Stroud. I'm sorry. Now that I know it is, I just think that maybe Aaron Rodgers got some.
But that's why it's a blind. That's why it's a blind stat. That's why it's a blind.
That's crazy.
Blind matchup. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely take just based off the stats 28-11. But
based off stats, yeah, but based off of just how I want it would be, and not because of age or anything.
So this next one, the final one I got for us, is 3,851 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 11 picks. And then he had a 66.5 QBR.
Not bad.
The next guy, 3,389 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks, 69.3 QBR. So it was a pretty decent QBR. So
I'm going to the second guy.
I don't know why we keep agreeing.
Okay.
Yeah,
but give me the stats again for the first guy.
How many
touchdowns and
interceptions?
First guy was 21 and 11. The second guy was 25 and 11.
25 and 11.
But then the first guy was 3,800 yards. The second guy was 3,300 yards.
Oh,
I'll take 25 and 11.
I'll go more yards. It means moving the ball down the field.
More touchdowns.
I do like the second guy with more touchdowns, but I bet the other guy was on a better rushing team.
Completion percentage was, let me see. Oh, I'll pull this up. So we had first guy had a 68 completion percentage. Second guy had a 63.
Yeah, I'll take the first guy now that I know.
I'm gonna still take touchdowns.
I'm the guy. My guy wants to move the ball down the field and complete more passes.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels.
Nah, the first guy was Kyler Murray.
Oh, cool.
The second guy was Jordan Love.
That's why you love him, weirdo.
He stayed true. He stayed true.
He's trying to set you up. He's trying to get you.
No,
I would have thrown Bo Nix in there, but
I didn't know it was Jordan.
I
Love,
knew
but
you would have known.
I would have
Yeah.
known the stats. He had
As soon as I
29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 1 receiving touchdown, 3,900 yards, 486 yards rushing, and 4 rushing touchdowns. I'm pretty sure. Check me. I'm pretty close. I know.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
For this next one, I guess we didn't even talk it over really, but how do you guys want to do this touchdown challenge?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we have one in the notes. Y'all just want to do it like that?
Yeah. We can do it like that.
So we'll do 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end to get to 150.
Yeah. Let me do my wheel spinner. Right.
Yeah, sure.
NFL team.
I had one pulled up.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then position. I'll do an NFL position. Oh, wait. Wheel.
You pick your position, don't you?
Oh, no. You spin the
wheel, and then you go.
spin the wheel for the team, and then you spin the wheel for the position.
So it's a collaborative thing, me and
Right.
you, or are we doing our own?
So I think y'all should go against each other.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
See, well,
Wait, how do
the
we,
challenge
how
is 150, I guess.
Yeah, who can get to 150?
Okay.
Oh, okay. No, I see what you're saying. I'm with you. It is just spin the team, and then I'll pick.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah.
you. With you.
And then
Okay.
we'll just see who, if both of y'all get it, then I guess we can go until somebody doesn't.
Okay.
Cool.
So we got, what is it?
One quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
2 running backs, or 1 running back?
2 running backs, 3 receivers, and a tight end.
Right here. I'll copy and paste in there. All right. Who's going first? You want rock, paper, scissors for it?
You can go first.
Let's rock, paper, scissors for it.
He's letting you go first.
Ray always beats me at rock, paper, scissors. Always.
You got it.
Okay.
All right.
And then I'm going to paste yours up here. Okay. All right.
All right.
Spin me the wheel. Tell me who I got.
Spin the wheel for Cat.
Yep. And then it's all-time players, right?
Wheel spinning.
We've got...
Looks like it might be the Chargers.
Give me LT. How many total touchdowns did LT have?
I think he had 21, right? That one season.
He went nuts.
Daniel Johnson had scored a total of 31 touchdowns in 2006.
Total.
So 31. We're doing total touchdowns. All right.
Bet.
All right, so my turn.
All right, your squad is going to be, let's see, wheel spinning.
Spin, spin, spin. Hey,
Looks
you're
like
popular, dude.
It's going to be
Ooh,
the
Patriots.
Patriots.
I guess I'll go Tom Brady here.
Tom Brady
I
at the
think it's
quarterback.
50.
Do you think he had a rushing touchdown in there?
I'm sure he's had 1 or 2 in there.
No.
But in his best season?
50.
50?
Yeah, 2007. When they got beat by the...
A little 50 ball.
All right.
All right, Cat. Next squad. You've got... Ooh, the Vikings.
Vikings, we have 2 running backs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm either thinking about Randy Moss at receiver
AP.
or AP at running back. But I feel like maybe I could get another running back. I'm going to take a risk here. And I'm going to go
Randy.
Randy Moss.
Randy
He had like
Moss.
3 touchdowns in 1 game. Most,
Well, you got at least 3 on there.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most CDs for Randy Moss with the Vikings. 156. He had 17, it looks like.
17.
Yeah, 2003 with the Vikings, 17. And then his next highest was 17 also in 1998, the year I was born.
All right, next spin for Ray. Let's see who we get. You got the Bucks. Yep, the Bucks. Who you picking? You already got quarterback. No taking Baker Mayfield.
I guess I'll go Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, that's how I was
That's a good
thinking.
pick.
Mike Evans, most total.
You think he had a rushing touchdown?
Maybe.
Definitely not. Probably had like
No.
13.
14 touchdowns in 21. Stat Muse is what I
That's probably his
used.
best.
Yeah, he had 12. Oh, wait. 14, 21, yeah.
Okay.
Go
3
ahead
behind
and
Randy Moss. Not
Add
bad.
that on the tally.
Not bad.
Not bad.
So we got Cat's next team.
Oh, you're just so professional. Mine's like,
Ooh. It's the Rams or the Chargers. The Rams.
I'm thinking Eric Dickerson.
I was gonna say.
I was thinking Eric
Dickerson.
I think Eric Dickerson.
Or
Eric.
Matt Stafford. I don't know if you want to go QB, but
Oh, I gotta make a commitment right now. I didn't look. I'm gonna go Eric Dickerson. I'm gonna go Eric Dickerson.
You're going to go Eric Dickerson.
Yeah, he has set the record for most rushing yards in the season, but only could do it in 14 games.
touchdowns, though, did he?
Most touchdowns in the season, 20.
20. Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
Let me make sure it's when he's played for the Rams though. Yeah, in 1983.
Did he play for any other teams?
Indianapolis early on
yeah.
in his career, or later on in his career, and he also played for the Raiders.
All
So
right.
it's 20. I'm doing pretty good on the running
20.
back.
We're spinning for Ray. Ooh, Raymond almost got the Packers, but he has to go with the Detroit Lions. Your second favorite team?
Do I go? Ooh.
Detroit.
Do I go Megatron or Barry Sanders? I'm gonna go Barry Sanders.
I was about to say, if you go I don't think Megatron had that many touchdowns.
I mean, he had the Triple Crown that year that he led the league in receiving, right? Or no, I don't think he won the Triple Crown.
I'm going Barry Sanders.
Most total TDs by
Scary Barry Sanders.
Scary Barry.
OK State legend.
Oh, that said like 4.
It's crazy that his son never really like blew up. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Or Emmett Smith's son either. He went to Stanford. But
Frank Gore's son was one who was popping out here.
17 in 1991.
17. Oof. That's kind of rough.
Yep.
That's not bad.
When you got 31 from LT and
That was a
20 from
lucky
Eric
spin. I'm like,
I
I'm going to get my revenge.
spent it early. A little too early.
Yes.
Nothing. All right. So I've got a tight end left, 2 receivers, and a quarterback. I think I might have gotten too happy.
The tight end's going to be tough.
All right, we're spinning it while they're loading in.
I was like, yo, that made me almost sick.
And you've got, looks like the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
I might have to take Josh Allen.
Total
Josh
touchdowns? Yeah.
In a season.
You already got all your running backs?
Yeah.
You can't take OJ?
He's in the Bronco. He's gone.
46 total touchdowns in 2020.
46.
It's not bad.
It's pretty good.
I'm going to be sad if I spin the Broncos.
All right, we got Raymond spinning. And he's got the Colts.
The Colts. I already used my QB. Oh, I guess he didn't have that
He had
record.
50, though.
He had 50 with the Colts? I thought it was just with the Broncos.
He had 56 with the Broncos.
This one's tough.
I have an idea of
with
who I would take.
With the Colts. I mean, Marvin Harrison or Dallas Clark? Where do I go here?
Better pick.
I'll go Harrison, I guess.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
yeah, because Dallas Clark was also like their tight ends in that era weren't scoring crazy amounts of touchdown like it is today.
He had 15 total touchdowns in 2004.
15.
I don't think I'm gonna hit.
That's pretty good.
50.
That's two less. That's 2 less than Randy Moss.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
another spin for Cat. Let's see what he gets. Cat has got. Ooh, the Eagles.
Tight end and 2 receivers. Should I go Terrell Owens? Eagles? Oh, I'm gonna go T.O. with the Eagles.
Terrell Owens.
Because I know 12 is the most that A.J. Brown's had with the Eagles. I don't know.
I can't believe the Titans really traded him away.
That's crazy.
That
They got
is
fleeced.
nuts.
Traded him.
And Derrick Henry. Did they even trade Derrick?
Nah,
Henry?
they let him
go.
walk,
He just
yeah.
free agent walk. They didn't get nothing.
They even
for
gave
him.
him
14.
They even gave him the
2004.
mic at his last game to let him give a little farewell. That's how you knew it was real.
Yeah.
I was
That's
sad.
crazy.
14 in 2004.
All right, we're spinning for Ray now.
Did
Coming
you come
down to the
before me?
wire.
Oh, no, I went before you. That's right.
Speaking of Derrick Henry, you've got the Tennessee Titans.
Well, I'm definitely not going receiver for them because I think the only guy is like Dyson was the only guy that went off for
Yeah.
him. So I'll go Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. 2020 season.
He had 18 total touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. How many do you have
Doesn't
this year?
play
Didn't he have
receiving
18 this year?
Yeah, it says total touchdowns. I'm pretty sure.
18.
I mean, I guess that's good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Did you add that
Let
one
me
in
make
there?
sure.
LT just went nuts, huh?
Yeah.
That dude was nice. I remember that was Damien's favorite player. He used to tell me.
Yeah. LT. Yeah.
I think
last time we did this, I went CJ Johnson.
Yeah, Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
CJ2K. I think he had 17 and Derrick Henry had 18. But I don't know about total. Chris Johnson may have had more total.
No, I think we looked at it one time. He didn't really have very many.
Total touchdowns all time. It was 18 with 2019.
All right. Let's spin for Cat. Is this your last one?
I think I got two more.
Two more.
He's a wide receiver and tight end, and me too. I need a wide receiver tight
And
end.
you've got the Vikings. Catching them plays like a Viking.
Vikings. I want
Jay
to Chris
Jettas.
Carter.
Jay
Jay Jettas.
Jay Jettas.
Or a tight end. I can't think of a tight end that ever played for the
TJ
Vikings.
Hawkins sucks.
Oh,
Hawkins
okay.
sucks.
I think I'm gonna go. I'll go Jay Jettas.
First young buck on the squad is in you got Josh Allen too.
Yeah,
you
Justin
got a couple
Jefferson.
current guys.
10 is the most he's had. I want to look at Chris Carter, which of course I'm taking Jefferson, but I just want to see if he had more.
You can go ahead and spin for mine.
But
Yep, should have taken Chris Carter. 17.
wow.
I knew it.
That boy was
Jefferson only
balling.
had 10.
10.
Wow. All right, Raymond. Speaking of Chris Carter, you got the Vikings.
Go ahead. Should've said nothing.
Well, I guess I'll take Chris Carter then.
He had 17.
17.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start
We both
spinning.
have tight ends left.
Spinning
Yeah.
for you, Cat. Let's see if you can get the Giants, maybe. Get the GOAT. And you've got the Jets.
Jets, tight end.
Who's the who played with Joe Namath?
Tyler Conklin's the only tight end I can think.
That's the only tight end I can think.
tight end.
Who played with Joe Namath back then?
I don't know. Just give me. I can't think of another tight end for the Jets, except for who played with butt fumble.
Mark Sanchez.
I can see his name. Jeremy O'Cotry.
Mark Booty Sanchez.
Jeremy O'Cotry? I'm just gonna go. Who did I say?
Tyler Conklin.
Conklin.
He probably only had like 4 touchdowns this year.
That's
That's rough. Jets. Yeah, I mean, tight ends don't really.
gosh. 4.
4.
Look at that ball
What was
knowledge.
the tight ends? What was the? Okay, I'll look it up in a minute.
All right, we'll spin for Raymond's last one. Is
Yikes.
who's your tight end gonna be? You got Seahawks.
Good luck, buddy. It's worse than mine. I feel like.
I guess Jimmy Graham. Did Jimmy Graham play
Yeah.
for the Seahawks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I'll go Jimmy
I don't
Graham.
know any tight ends for the Jets.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Jimmy Graham,
When he was on the
Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
10.
Woo.
Dang, that's pretty good, bro.
All right, let's tally these up then.
Okay, so I had.
Put the calculator out.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I had 46,
Mm-hmm.
10,
Yerp.
14,
Mm-hmm.
17,
Yep.
31, 20, 4.
142.
Oh, no way.
Boy, missed the mark.
Yeah.
I think we
I
might as
missed
well
it by
just.
8, and that would have been. Oh, no, I still would have missed
Chris
by
Carter.
1 by Chris Carter.
Right. Me, you ready?
Yep.
50,
Mm-hmm.
14,
Yerp.
15,
Mm-hmm.
17, 17,
Yep.
18, and 10.
141.
Dang.
Like Cat beat him by 1
And you got a
point.
freebie from me. Freaking Chris Carter. That's what you get for post on Facebook. Like, the champ is here.
We got a new,
Okay,
we got
I
a new
just want to
champ.
see the Jets
Tight end history.
tight end history.
I'm telling you, bro. You might see my name on there or something. One of the Madden players. Like
Your creative
Dustin Keller. That's who I was thinking about. Dustin Keller.
I thought that said Jerome Bettis down there.
Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, they don't have anybody that I know. Anthony Becht.
Yeah.
How many touchdowns did Dustin Keller have?
Probably
Dustin
6.
Keller.
I'm guessing 6.
6. Let's see. Oh my goodness, Jets. Here we go. pull up the stats. The most he had in a single season was he had 17 total touchdowns. Most he had in a season was 5. So if I would have had him, if I could remember his name, and I should have taken Chris Carter, I would have hit it. But would have, should have, could have, I just still beat Ray. That's all that matters to me. All right.
Well,
that was a great
thanks, Sammy, for
timeout from you, Sammy. Thanks for giving us the
appreciate it.
trivia
Let everybody
timeout.
rest.
Sad I couldn't win, so now we're tied 1-1, right?
Yes.
So all right, we gotta keep a tally. Maybe we'll write it on the board next time, but
Right now.
I'll write it right now. Go ahead. But segueing into our Heat Check Thursday hot takes coming up.
Shout out to the hot take segment.
Shout out to everybody who keeps commenting and keeps interacting with us. We thank you guys. We really appreciate it. So,
Breaking news. I'm so sorry. Aaron Jones is re-signing with the Vikings, 2-year, $20 million deal, includes $13 million guaranteed. And back to the hot takes.
Dang.
Sorry.
Right there on the podcast, live. Live, they broke that. That's crazy.
Pretty good.
Well,
that's pretty good for him.
yeah, I mean, I think that kind of goes back to our thing that we were talking about with, him, maybe Aaron Rodgers going back or going to the Vikings, following that Brett Favre.
Does that mean Devontae goes to the Vikings?
Devontae, maybe?
With Jay Jettas?
With
And
Jay Jettas
Addison.
and Addison.
Oh, my. That
That's
would be
crazy.
a super squad.
That's crazy.
2-year deal for Rodgers, $50 million. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
go back to hot takes.
All right,
I'm so
hot
sorry.
takes. We're gonna start right here. We're gonna start with some basketball. Kobe is the GOAT, and they should call it sneaking instead of stealing bases. That's from Layla Thies.
Shout out to my boo thing.
I love Kobe. I'm not gonna lie. The other day I was going down a dark hole watching a bunch of Kobe edits, and I remember where I was when he died. I was playing 2K, and I had his card on my team. And when on my team, the little trading thing, kind of like Ultimate Team. And when he died, bro, everybody started listening. And he was selling for like millions of coins because everybody wanted like the best version of him.
That's crazy.
When did he die? It was like during
2020,
COVID,
right?
January
18th.
26th.
Oh, January 26th? I thought it was February.
2020.
I swear
It was right
2020,
before COVID.
Right before COVID.
Yeah.
Because remember, LeBron and them, they were still in the stadium when they announced, or like the next game that they played, they had the little tribute.
Mm-hmm.
So they were still in the stadium, and then they went on to the bubble to win the championship that year that he
That's
died.
crazy. That's nuts.
That is-
We were at
But-
my parents' house when he died. When my wife was
But
next to
I
me,
love
started crying.
I love Kobe. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, legend. But he ain't the GOAT.
Yeah, not the GOAT.
Not the GOAT. Yeah.
Not the GOAT. Maybe one of the greatest all-time shooting guards. I'd bet he put him even above
Definitely
Michael.
top 10 player.
Because he kind of played that middle ground of having like a tougher generation to play against than Michael did.
He was
I
like,
just
yeah,
watched
he
some
was
Michael
just that in
Jordan
between.
clips. I was
Right.
so embarrassed. Like, bro, Magic Johnson was busting him down.
Yeah.
Like right in his face, hitting shot jumpers. Magic Johnson, I was like, okay.
His jumper too. He's like
AI was cooking him,
shit like
bro.
a high school girl.
AI
Yeah.
cooked him.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
snatched his ankles. but-
LeBron cooked him. They just won't release the tape.
Yeah.
Kobe, to preface this, Layla's like the greatest Kobe fan of all time. Like, had every pair
You gotta
of Kobe's.
respect it.
Signed autographs. Loved Kobe. But
Kobe is your GOAT, which can't hate on that.
No.
Like I said.
Yeah.
but not the GOAT.
But not the
Not the
but,
GOAT.
And then her second part of it was they should call it sneaking instead of stealing bases. It was pretty funny, but
That would be funny.
I like the term sneaking, but stealing has just always been the thing.
How
And
many
like,
sneaks did you have this year? I had 50 sneaks.
and I think it was funny when Acuna hit that like his 73rd or something like that. He literally got up and took the base.
Yeah.
And like everybody's
Yeah.
like, he for real stole the base.
bag.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shout out Layla. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for always tuning in and showing the support. Next one, Cody Moose becoming a regular in these hot takes.
Shout out Cody.
I don't know the
He
best one.
said, Otani is our Babe Ruth of our generation.
That's facts.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take at all.
No, yeah.
think-
I think that's definitely, that's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But some people don't see that. Like Barry Bonds doesn't think that he's plays. Barry Bonds said this week he's playing in such a softer,
Yeah?
easier generation of baseball. I think we agree with that. We have a lot of the same opinions, but I mean, I definitely see it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
first true two-way ball player. Now imagine if he played. I think Shohei Ohtani should be a reliever.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be a starting pitcher. I think that's maybe too much for him. But yeah, Babe Ruth, to be Babe Ruth, it's a worst scene in the modern day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him starting because he's already proven that he can do it. So like, why not just have him go out every other day and pitch a whole 6 innings for you when he could, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess if you're gonna keep him to 6, I guess if you're gonna keep him like maybe like 5 or 6 innings, I'm good with that. But even if he's hot, I don't think you pitch him 9 innings.
I mean, their staff is so deep, anyways. I don't think you need him to start, and I think he could play like the role like he did in the World Baseball Classic when he came in, and he closed the door for him. Like you can have him go all out for 1 inning, every other day. Yeah, and you don't have to wait for him to wait 5 days for him to start. You can use him every night if you needed to. Because as a reliever, you're really only going out there for a few pitches. They're high leverage.
You know how clutch that would be if he was like just hitting straight bombs one game and then he comes and closes and saves the game.
And you probably all warm up from swinging the bat, so your shoulder kind of already has that like not like warm up like
in the hips, Cat. It's in the hips.
I know, but you're getting your arms.
So either way, you're getting warm, hitting.
You're rotating everything.
Keep the shoulder high, Cat.
I don't know. Although
I mean, I
am a hard runner to first base when I play softball.
Yeah, you use your hips for pitching too.
I chop.
You plant.
That's a good take.
Yeah. Again, thanks Cody for
shout out Cody.
The support. Always commenting here. Got another regular right here. Conor McGregor was and is overrated from Evan Ortega.
I'm not the biggest UFC guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all kind of like know a little bit about UFC, but I think Conor McGregor, when he fought, like during his time,
his prime was amazing.
His prime, he would talk trash and he would back it up. So I don't know if he was overrated, I would say, because he was bringing in the money, bringing in the fans, and he was delivering.
He's the one that made UFC popular for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'll say this. He was not overrated, but he is now overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't even consider him in the UFC scene anymore, though.
No.
So I don't
but
really.
He fought like a few years ago.
Yeah,
he got
the last
overrated.
like 4 fights he had, like I'm pretty sure he lost. And
he lost to Poirier and Khabib. Those were his last
that's what I'm saying. Like he was not overrated, but now he is definitely.
In his prime, he was that dude. But I guess like the L's he took recently has just been diminishing him.
Yeah,
and they lost to Floyd Mayweather in a boxing fight. And just he can be
rigged.
Rigged. But you're gonna be
him pretty well though.
You're gonna be the face of the UFC, or the face of the UFC. I kind of agree with Evan a little bit on that. Like he's the first person to ever hold 2 belts at one time. So like that, his prime was crazy, but it was only for like that short amount.
It's like time. 4 years. Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
And you got guys like, is it John Jones who's been fighting
forever.
And he's still undefeated. Well, he has one because of disqualification.
Yeah, his one loss,
But really, it's like undefeated.
But I'm not the biggest UFC person either, so don't crucify me.
Yeah, not the biggest into it. It's just a lot to keep up with.
A lot of sports we're going to
There's so many fighters too, bro. There's so many fighters.
There was a big fight last night with, what's his name? Pierre or something. And he lost last night. So.
Alex Pierre.
I heard it was a very disappointing fight.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. See, that's the thing with fighting sports is like they have all this hype, and then sometimes you get in them. Or like the Floyd Mayweather thing was always he'd run around in the ring, and it's just a boring fight. And it's like, well, we wanted to see you guys fight, and you just played defense the whole time.
Yeah,
which I mean, it's smart for
the name
him
of the game
because if you're the champ, you got to really. If you're the champ, or you're the contender fighting the champ, you got to really win. You got to knock him out pretty much to really win, or just be completely dominant.
Like Tank Dell.
Tank Dave, Gervonta Davis.
Tank Dell. Tank Dell's leg
does not have any CL,
fighting him.
But
he does not have any.
But yeah,
Tank.
I thought Tank should have lost because he took that knee. But again, I don't know a lot about boxing.
But I did see the highlights.
But shout out to Evan again.
Regular,
Evan, always showing love. Always
boy Evan.
We'll tag you in the Instagram post.
Yes,
Shout
sir.
you out.
Yes, sir. We got a new face in here. My buddy Alex played baseball with him in Midland. He said Red Sox win the AL East this year. What do you guys think? What do you think, Sammy?
Nah, I think the Yankees still got it. But they're definitely on the come. They're definitely number 2 now. What were they? They were like 4th or 5th.
Yeah, I mean the AL East is always kind of tough, especially
the Orioles, right?
Let's say Orioles,
Yankees,
Rays,
Orioles, Rays, Blue Jays, Red Sox.
I think the Blue Jays
a tough division.
I feel like the Orioles have been on the up and up recently.
Yeah, I mean they got a good young team.
Jackson Holiday coming up.
Yeah, they got a good young team. So I don't think they'll win the AL East. I know he's a little biased because that's his team, but.
I think they'll for sure make the playoffs this year. They'll definitely be number 2 in my opinion, but they gotta fight really hard with the Blue Jays and the Orioles.
Well,
I think
a lot of it's gonna kind of come down to like that chemistry we kind of talked about earlier to start off the show with Devers to see if he doesn't implode. But they got a lot of young guys. They got a good core. Their pitching staff's really good too. So they spent a lot of money this offseason to really revamp their pitching staff. So AL East. It's always going to be a good race with those 5 teams. I mean, you can never. I mean, it's always a toss up with them because Rays are always that sneaky team that they're like a small market team, but they always find a way to develop their guys and just have a good pitching staff or play good defense or just find ways to win. And then Orioles coming up. I mean, they got good young core. Last year they were I think they were the best team. I think they won the AL East last year.
Who was the guy that drafted from Randall?
Heston Kjerstad.
Kjerstad.
Yep. Shout out to Reed, his brother. I grew up playing with him. Shout out to him.
He also came and gave us free water that one time.
Yeah, he bought a Jeep for me.
And you negotiated a pallet of water.
Negotiated a pallet of water. So that was clutch, especially in the summer. But
and one guy I like a lot from the Orioles is Adley Rutschman.
Adley Rutschman,
catcher,
right? Yep.
So I'm just sitting here looking at it's called baseballamerica.com.
Yeah.
And so you've got the Yankees at 5 power rankings preseason. Yankees at 5, Orioles at 6, Diamondbacks 7, Red Sox at 8. So I feel like to say the Red Sox, from an outside perspective, not really known, it seems like the Red Sox, the only reason they're ranked a little bit lower than them is because they haven't proven yet that they can play together with the new additions. But also the Yankees, man, they really added some talent. I mean, Cody Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt. Where did he come from?
He was Arizona, then he went...
Where was that last season?
Cardinals,
yeah, okay.
First baseman, right?
And I only remember his name. Maybe it was... I don't know where I remember his name, but the Goldschmidt just stuck with me. And then they got Jazz Chisholm, Garrett Cole. I mean,
talking with my cousins, we're all Yankees fans, of course, and
weirdos.
We were like, man, we lost Juan Soto, but with that extra money that we didn't pay him, we really revamped the team with Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt. We also got Max Fried,
Devin Williams,
which is closer.
He's from Milwaukee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think last year I played the first time I played baseball, fantasy baseball. And I just grabbed him. And he was nasty for me. I didn't even know how to keep up with fantasy baseball so much. But I only lost 2 games. I almost made it to the championship.
Yeah, so I think the Yankees did a really good job. So they'll be at the top. I mean, it's going to be a good race. Again, I think they're definitely the top 3. So Yankees, Orioles, Red Sox are the top 3 in that East.
I have a prediction.
And
what's a prediction?
Rays and Blue Jays going to be
whoever wins the most games will win the NL East.
That's a bold prediction.
Or AL East.
But shout out Alex for that hot take. We appreciate it. This next one comes from my wife, the one and only Danielle. She said Carolina Panthers will win the NFC South.
What's she know about the Panthers?
I could see it, though.
Yeah.
Definitely could see it, especially with the way the Panthers played at the end.
The Falcons are in that division, right?
Falcons are in the division, but the way the Panthers played at the end and just that freedom and Bryce Young looked amazing. They have got 2 running backs that hopefully,
if Jonathan Brooks can come back
and be healthy, they got Chuba Hubbard who proved this. They just don't have a real good receiver. I mean, that's the weakest division in football for the longest time.
Yeah,
it's been like that. It used to be the Cardinals, Seahawks, 49ers division. Mm-hmm. And who else was in that division?
Rams.
It used to be the weakest division in football. That was the first division I remember a playoff team making it with the under 500 record.
Yeah.
I think it was the 49ers with I can't remember the coach's name. But anyways, I definitely think the Panthers have got a shot.
Yeah.
I don't think, especially in that division, I don't think you can ever count out a team. It's especially, I mean,
it only takes you 9 wins to make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just got to beat up on each other, So
win your conference games.
I think it's gonna be tough. I mean, the Bucks. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting what they do since they lost. They're gonna lose Chris Godwin. They got a good 2 running backs. They got Baker Mayfield. Their defense was kind of shaky. Our Saints are in that division, right?
I don't think the Saints will be that good this year. I think it's the Bucks or the Panthers. That's what I think. And I think
Bucks or Panthers.
I think whoever wins the division will win by having won 10 games. That's all it takes to win that division.
Being 10-6.
Yeah, like in your division or my division, it's going to take. I think that division's a lot
14
like 14 wins.
It's like the Titans.
The AFC South, very much like the Titans Colts division. Yeah. It only takes you got to win
10, 11 games.
10 games, and you got to win 6 of those wins. They got to be against division opponents.
Yep.
To win. That's what I think. That's what it could take.
Yep.
It is kind of hot though, because Bryce Young only proved himself at the end of the season when no one really cares.
Yeah.
So when he comes back, looks like he did at the beginning of the season last year.
If he comes back and looks bad, I mean, it's going to be one of those things that they're not going to re-sign him. They're just going to kind of roll with them. But I mean, it's crazy.
It's a good take.
They leverage a little bit. They leverage their future for him.
Yep.
So he better ball out.
Right.
It's a good take, Danielle, and whatever you know about the Panthers. Something we don't know about.
Then rolling into the next one, shout out Sammy right here. He's saying Jalen Hurts is the Russell Wilson of our era. Are you saying because like he talks in captions, or like? Are you saying
I guess
like,
they
he
both.
got carried
I
to the
guess they
Super
both
Bowl?
are light skinned and they talk in captions. But nah, I think I think the way Jalen Hurts won his Super Bowl, and I still feel people will leave him out of the Big Four.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson won his Super Bowl, and people didn't think he was that nasty, but he played good games in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they both had really good running backs, Marshawn Lynch and Saquon. They both had really good defenses.
Yep.
So I think he's just like a Russell.
Actually a really good comparison.
Yeah,
actually.
it's a very like a modern day game manager, like the Trent Dilfer of like the early 2000s was like, okay, throw 20 touchdowns, drive the ball on the field, hand the ball off, let our defense win games. It's a very like modern day, like, okay, you can throw 25 touchdowns, you can run the ball. I don't want to call him a game manager because a good game manager is a good quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And they're both good quarterbacks, but definitely
I'd rather be
comparison.
I'd rather be a game manager than sit on the bench.
Or I would rather be a game manager and win a Super Bowl and have some kind of. I mean, he won a Super Bowl MVP,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, I think
Jalen Hurts
that's
did. So but look at Joe Burrow. He's a dog, certified. Can't win.
Yeah.
Did Wilson
Josh
win MVP? Russell Wilson?
I don't know if he did.
That's a great question.
Super Bowl
Why you-
MVP?
I'm
Why
gonna
you
look
asking all them questions?
at Russell.
Yeah, I mean that's a good comparison though. Honestly, I mean, yeah, it's
That was just heavy on my
it's
mind.
that's a
That one was heavy on my
especially
mind one day.
because when Russell Wilson won, it was like he got carried there. Like it was all about the Legion of Boom, right?
Yeah.
And with this team, they had a great defense too that also really stepped up too. And again, they're very similar too because they both had good running games. So I think both teams geared up. The other teams geared up to try and stop the run. And either way, they showed out and got a Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
I'm looking. I'm sorry. Malcolm Smith. Oh, Malcolm Smith, linebacker for Seattle Seahawks.
He won.
Yep, MVP.
Really?
Not even Bobby Wagner?
Nope.
They
Malcolm
gave it to
Smith.
another
Malcolm
linebacker?
Smith.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't either.
Shout out Malcolm Smith. though.
Shout
He's
out.
probably got
He plays for the
pretty good
plays for the
case.
Cleveland Browns or no?
really, he still plays.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. All right,
That is
well, going to the last one of the day, probably the hottest take. Actually, not really too hot. This one is from your one and only Cat.
Oh.
Saying Angels should trade Mike Trout and get a haul for him. I guess that's not a hot take. I think the way at first when you read it, well, when I read it, I was like, "Here we go
Appalled.
again with the Mike Trout stuff." But yeah, I mean that's not a bad take. I would definitely if you get the most for him now because you can't win with him. Why do you need him anyways? So I mean, get rid of him.
Yeah, you definitely aren't winning with him at all. That's for sure. He's proven that. One thing he is very good at is proving factual that he cannot win games. He is not the player to come in and change your organization and win games. He is very good. Very, very great player. My opinion has been changed about him. I thought he was trash, washed up. I had to do a little bit of research, get some stats in there, but definitely not someone that you're going to have come in and change your organization, especially now that he's old and hurt. Maybe 5 years ago, you could say, yeah, but couldn't win with Shohei, the Babe Ruth of our generation.
They couldn't even make the playoffs.
They couldn't.
So that says something about the Angels.
Yep. Sure does.
This guy is quiet over
Sure
here.
does. Yep.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be like facetious about anything. I'm not.
We're gonna have a dedicated episode.
Mike Trout.
Cat versus Ray.
Mike
Trout. ...
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that I was saying that he wasn't very good. Okay, I did say that. I will be on tape saying he wasn't very good. He was very good. He had a very, very good prime, but he just wasn't enough. He had one playoff game that he made, that one playoff series they made. He hit .083. I'm just saying, like, you gotta hit at least 200. I get in the playoffs, you only have a limited amount of at bats. I get it, but you had a bye. You had a bye going in. That was your chance to prove, like, hey, I'm the dude in the playoffs. They had a great pitching staff when they went into it. I looked at the ERA across all of the pitching staffs during that year, and it was decent. It was right in the middle of the pack. But I also understand that baseball is not an individual player sport.
It's
I
not.
understand
Yeah,
that.
it's
I totally get
different.
that. Totally get that. But
Think about it, Cat. We had some dogs on our softball team, and we didn't win the whole thing.
that's because I suck at catcher.
Yeah, okay, there's probably a bad catcher that was on the Angels with Mike Trout.
I mean, I don't know. All I know is
Speak your mind. You're scared.
No, it's just I know you don't know baseball.
I know, I don't know baseball.
I don't want to go in
No,
too much on you.
You can go in on me. I'm
No,
okay. That's what this is for. This is open, honest podcast.
But I'm just saying, like,
oh my God,
like the Angels, they ran into the Royals, who ended up winning the World Series, who had one of the best pitching staffs
Salvador
ever.
Perez.
And the way they did it was they had their starters go 4 or 5 innings, and at that 5th inning, they'd bring in their bullpen, who was just unhittable. So if they had a lead after the 4th inning, it was done for.
See,
that whole postseason.
I'm with you.
And Mike Trout got on base every single game. So you can't say he didn't do his part. He got on base every single game.
I need to look up how many at-bats he had with...
He had 12. 12
okay,
at-bats.
12 at-bats. But I want to look at, out of those at-bats...
With runners in scoring position. Probably 0. Because he's the only hitter on that team. And then
I'm just saying, you still have to get on... I know you got on base by walks, right? But those don't count as hits. Because I took a sports bet one time that was supposed to be... How many times you get on base, they don't count
as hits, but you're still producing for the team if you find a way to get on base.
They had a good
OBP.
team. They had Albert Pujols, and they also had... Who else they had?
How old was Albert Pujols,
That fool was
bro?
still nasty that season.
He was like 37 years
No,
old.
he was still nasty.
Can you guess what year he won a championship with the Cardinals?
2011?
Somewhere like that, I think. But he also won one in like 2002.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, Albert Pujols was old when he played there. I mean,
Also,
I don't
know.
They didn't. It's something with
It's a
the
team
Angels.
sport.
It's a team sport.
It is all team sport. And every sport is a team sport, but certain sports you can have a guy take over, like basketball.
Yes. And then
The only
also, I mean,
sport-
you game plan.
Really, the only sport that you can have a guy take over.
Is basketball. Yeah, I mean, with baseball though, like you have a dedicated game plan to say, hey, this guy's not going to beat us because he's the only guy that can do anything, right? So you pitch around a guy. Not saying he didn't strike out or anything like that,
right?
Because he did have a few strikeouts, but still, I mean, hitting a baseball is the hardest thing. But
I'm not disagreeing. But to make
I don't know. I mean, you're not going to be one player and carry a baseball team to the championship. Nobody in the history of baseball has been so dominant.
Barry Bonds.
No, he still had terrible.
I'm asking. It's an ask.
It's a playoff woes too. Everybody said the same thing about him.
He didn't win. He didn't win every single year.
No, that's fine. It was just a question. I mean,
there's so.
I guess
much
maybe
more
I feel
into baseball.
bad for Mike Trout.
I mean, you
He's
could feel
stuck
bad
there,
for him.
but he did sign a massive contract.
Sammy did send that video today.
Yeah,
of the guys. You didn't watch it?
No.
With the baseball.
It's on Instagram.
They were doing I'm going to pass the phone to so and so, and it ended with
Paul Skeen
saying, "I'm going to give the phone. I'm going to pass the phone to the greatest to ever do it." Guess who answered that phone?
Barry Bonds.
Mike Trout.
The greatest to ever do it? Yo, wasn't there a hot take on there about what's his face being a better hitter?
That's on the TikTok.
That's on TikTok.
Oh, we had some great TikTok interaction there too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can go into that one too. Pete, somebody said, who was it? Brian Harley.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brian. Thanks for tapping.
Shout out.
Thanks for tapping in the TikTok. He said Pete Rose was a better hitter than Barry Bonds. Personally, I mean, I haven't really looked at the stats. I mean, obviously Pete Rose has the most hits in MLB history, but I mean, as far as just hitting for power and contact, there's nobody better than Barry Bonds.
Well,
I mean, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off. My bad.
No, go ahead.
You said Barry Bonds. I was saying also Ken Griffey Jr.
I mean, Ken Griffey Jr.'s he was the swagger. He's more
and he was really two-way.
He's more like
he was really good at defense.
He's a really good defender. But I mean,
like Dion.
I mean, yeah.
As a comp.
Yeah. I mean, he was just like he's a flashy player.
He had his own kicks.
Yeah, he did. He had his own the Griffies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the Air Griffies.
But I mean, Ken Griffey was good. They called him the kid, but I mean, the biggest thing with him is, I mean, he was great too, but he wasn't, again, not hitting for power and contact the way that Barry Bonds did. And also, Barry Bonds got walked a lot. I know you don't think walks count as hits, but that's like
on base percentage, right?
Yes.
Your on base percentage.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
I'm just saying, like,
no, I'm
like
saying,
you're using
like,
the argument against Mike Trout. Anyhow,
yeah, because it was the playoffs.
But
it's
Barry
time to be
Bonds
clutch.
got walked so much that like these pitchers like feared him. Like nobody wanted to throw to him, like because they knew if he did, he was going to do damage. So just like for me, in my opinion, obviously, you know, I'm not right all the time, which I think I'm right on this, but
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I think
on
Barry
baseball,
Bonds is the best.
Yeah. Okay. Let me preface this while we're at the end of the show here. On baseball, I'm going to be the hot take machine on this. I'm learning as we go.
Devil's advocate.
I am the devil's advocate. And that's just who I am as a person. I like to challenge people and their thoughts. I think that's why we have a good podcast. But.
So, yeah, when I think of, like, what was his name, Barry Bonds. I think of like Big Papi, like those guys that you don't want to pitch into and then the ninth inning when you got a chance to lose the game.
Yeah.
But then you think of like Pete Rose, like he's just a guy who's consistent over and over.
And don't get me wrong, Pete Rose is a dog too, because he played baseball harder than anybody. Like he hit a ball in the gap and he was running hard. He hit a ground ball to second base and he's running hard. So definitely Pete Rose is definitely I think he should be a Hall of Famer. Going back to our take from last week saying that Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. I think Pete Rose also deserves to be.
He's not in for gambling?
For gambling. And the crazy part, too, is the gambling part is he was gambling on his own team. Like, he was like, we're going to win. He's betting money saying that his team was going to win. It's not like he was like...
hey, I'm going to go 0 for 4.
Yeah.
Like, not how today's sports gambling.
Like, when players get caught gambling now, it's like, I'm going to have 100 yards or less than 100 receptions or 5 drops on their own or someone else. And then the last thing that we saw on TikTok, we got a lot of interaction on there, was like steroids. This guy, Steve Perry, said steroids 100% help you hit better, especially at the end of the season, since steroids greatly improve your recovery time.
Yeah, again, I mean, they do help with recovery time, but if you don't see the ball, you can't hit the ball, the steroids don't matter. You can give me steroids, and I'm not going to go up there and hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. That's just not... I mean,
even if you get stronger, you don't even got the right technique to hit the ball the right way. I'm not saying that you don't, but like a guy like me or Kat, we take steroids. We're not going to be able to put the barrel on the ball.
I'll tell you who I am hidden off of.
We're gonna we'll have to find out one day. We'll have to get you in the box. We went to hitting. We went to batting
don't
cage
make fun
one time.
of me.
We got a batting cage right behind us.
We'll go over here to the
We're
batting
very,
cage.
very balanced because Ray, of course, is very, very good at baseball. Sammy's nasty on the court. And I got a nasty arm on me. I can throw that football like crazy.
Hey, throw some dots for sure. But yeah,
Christian
going back
Dart.
to that. Christian Dart. There you go.
That's my cousin.
Going back to the steroid thing. I don't think...
Dart. Sorry, I was having outside thoughts. Go ahead, sorry.
I don't think the steroids really help with hitting the ball. I mean, Jose Canseco was on steroids. He never hit 72 home runs.
Yeah.
Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa both were on steroids. They never hit 72 home runs.
Sammy Sosa. That's a name.
So,
that's my legend. That's my OG right there.
Yeah.
Nomar Garcia Parra. That's one of the first baseball names I remember. And it's just because it's so long. I like saying it. Nomar Garcia Parra. I don't know. I don't know a lot of baseball, but I'll play a lot of MLB
like
this
Jeremy
show.
Shockey. I like saying Jeremy Shockey.
Oh my god! You know how Mike Trout is to you? When I bring up Jeremy Shockey, Jeremy Shockey is such a terrible player, and I have like legit on why he's not.
That's different
top 10 tight end of all time, top 20 maybe not even.
But that's arguable. Trout not being top 3
of what? Okay, top 3 of top 3 of now, currently, all time, or what?
In his era, there's so
in
many
his era. In his era, okay. I'd have to do some more research. I can't tell you. I don't want to make.
He's low key the GOAT.
And his era is not low key. It's
low
recognized by everybody that he was the best.
In his era,
was better.
No,
a player.
No.
If I had to pick one of the other, Clayton Kershaw.
Max Scherzer was better.
Max Scherzer for the Washington Nationals.
Bandit.
Yeah. The two-eyed bandit. Yeah. Okay.
But.
I guess.
Is that how we're going to end it? All right, you got your shot?
Where's your... Oh, yeah. I was so behind you.
Oh, okay.
On the other side.
When did that even happen?
I don't even know.
Whenever you knocked the...
One-handed.
Give me that assist. Give me that Jokic.
Hey, it's in. Well, we covered a lot today. We went a little bit longer than we usually do, but we want to say once again, thanks for joining us, jumping on the podcast, whether you're watching it on YouTube or listening on Apple. Follow us on _bounce pass pitch pod on TikTok, right here behind us. Instagram handle's a little bit different. Everything's in the bio underneath. Remember to click that subscribe button and hit the
like and the bell.
Yes, sir.
To get more notifications from the Bounce Pass Pitch podcast. And that's all we've got for you. See you next week.
See ya.